Yes.
I don't understand.
The button has been pushed. The countdown has begun. That wouldn't be a problem on the Paramount lot. What else do we
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just charging this. Don't mind me. Host.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, my phone is in the other room.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Oh, this is the good stuff. This is the good stuff.
They haven't turned my microphone on.
It's going to be good. Welcome back. You have clicked on the Late Night Playset Cars and Comedy Show, whatever it's called. My name is Jay Ryan.
Here, producer Mike.
You have clicked us on a good night. It's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be hard to follow. There will be segues. The excitement that's running through my veins right now will continue for at least an hour and a half, I assure you. We have my old friend, this guy right over there, my buddy, Sean Bishop is here, and for some reason, we have decided to do this.
Does it look
in our old outfits.
I think it is, because it's great.
I hope it does. It feels real dumb.
It looks great on the screen, I'll tell you that.
Feels real dumb.
I may not be I'm biased. I'm not an objective person.
We were just deciding that it's just like the movie. The stuff
Hi,
the suits
everybody.
fit, but the shit is so heavy.
Smiley face. It's producer Mike.
Anyway, Sean Bishop's
Smiley
here. We're going to be
face.
talking
I'm in the show with you
Ghostbusters.
tonight
We're
until
actually
he
going to be
turns my
watching a video
microphone
of the Proton Pack that's sitting right next to him. We made that, and we have a video to prove it. We're going to be talking about the Ghostbusters cars, the Ectos, for a lot of reasons. Maybe some news. Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I want news.
There's going to be some news about the Ectos. That's exciting.
News,
That's
a foolhardy thing that I'm doing.
yeah, it's going to be news. It's going to be news. And Back to the Future DeLorean talk as well. Anyway, all that stuff with Sean Bishop, as well as everybody on Instagram. Well, that's Emmy looking at the new Myers Manx. But we've also got, he's dressed up in his, playing along at home up in Canada. We have Canada Mike, producer Mike, and if I'm not wrong, up on your shelf there, I see the fake tape of...
I do see the Afterlife thrower.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Can't hear you,
Can
Mike.
you hear me?
Hang on, might be me. Can we hear you, Mike?
All right. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Nope.
Oh.
But it might be us. Could be us. Could be us.
I think it's you.
No?
I'm not
But you
muted.
look great. It's the one time we didn't do a... you know what? Maybe it'll be fine in a minute. We'll see. Maybe it'll work itself out. Maybe we'll disconnect.
Okay.
Anyway, but Instagram's here. We're excited about that. Will, take it away and start this damn show. down to the wire. Holy crap. All right.
Hello.
Grab that. I'll grab this here. Starting with you in the studio. I can't believe that all came together at the last second here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Instagram. By the way, producer Mike, I bet you're here now. I don't think the problem was you. I think it was on our side. I bet everyone could hear you perfectly. You're faking with me.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, he's doing shtick again. He's doing shtick again.
Doing routine.
Happily.
I take my wife everywhere, but she finds her way back home. Yeah.
The Henny Youngman?
Yeah, that's
pretty
direct,
close.
Directly from Goodfellas.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, well, R.I.P. to a lot of those guys. Seems like they're all dying one after the other these days.
Like every day. So.
We've decided to do this. I regret it immediately, but I'm also happy we did it. We're both Venkmen, I just noticed.
Yeah, of course, because everyone wants to be Venkman.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone likes to think
true.
they're witty and charming and
Oh, you're right.
has perfect one-liners.
And none of us are.
No.
Oh, none of us are Bill Murray.
True story.
Although, while I do not feel worthy of sitting here with the Bill Murray connection, I do feel justified because I devoted a lot of dating hours to this shit. I could have been out there. Instead, I was in the shop.
Well, that was for years and years.
Gluing my fingers together with super glue. And
Oh, gosh. I'm pretty sure I'm going to die soon. Not soon, but early because of all the acetone and everything. I used to wash my hands with acetone. Remember? Get all that paint and everything else off of them.
Fiberglassing without a mask, it'll be fine.
I got better about that.
I did too.
Well, glassing, yeah, we did glass at first without masks.
Yeah,
We were better about
a little bit.
sanding and having
Yes.
masks on.
Not by much.
Not
but
by much, no. We were so... what is it about being young? Well, I left my card over there. What is it about being young and... What day is it? Hello, everybody.
Young
Welcome
and
back.
stupid. Yeah.
Somebody let me out. There's a microphone.
It's like a swinging gate.
You're a swinging gate.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't knock my wife's teeth out.
I know.
Can you imagine another fucking another medical thing we'd have to go handle? I'm sorry, I ruined your perfect teeth with the microphone.
Don't do that.
It's Tuesday, August 9th, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Cars and Comedy Show, and we are blowing off the top of the show. If you couldn't tell, there is no format at all tonight. We've got a couple things we want to tell you. There's a couple stories we want to tell. We want to reminisce with you. We wanted to
Certainly
dust
do.
off this shit and put it on again after X amount of years. You probably have worn yours more frequently than me, I'm guessing, over the years.
I'm sure. Not over the past 10 or 15, but...
Really?
I think this is the first time I put it on in 10 years.
Then that's amazing.
Unless it's for, like, Halloween on the front porch or something like that.
Well, except for all those times when I put it on.
Well, no. Yeah.
Other than that, first time.
Not-
Maybe ever.
Haven't been to conventions, haven't taken the car out much.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Well, your
So,
car's in the museum.
It is now, yes.
Where did the first one go? England? No, that was the DeLorean.
think
Where
it's
did
in
the first...
Canada now. Well, it went to
Canada.
Brian, and then the guy in Canada bought the Superior.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, about your first two Ghostbuster cars, and then we'll talk about another one.
Sure. It's a lot to talk about. Past, present, future.
Tuesday, August 9th. Yeah, that's right. This is the Everything Everywhere All the Time
all
show.
at once nerd
yeah,
show.
all at
Yeah,
once show.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ghostbusters. Oh, jeez.
What?
Look what else my buddy brought back. Haven't seen this in a long time. Haven't seen that in a long time.
I didn't know that still existed.
Well, me neither.
Yeah.
I asked him as a joke. I go, hey, do you still have that hoverboard?
I'm like, yep, right. I'm like, you mean this?
Because Damon gave me one of the Paul McCarthy collection skateboards that he put out,
Yeah.
and it's hanging on the wall in the green room. And when he came over and brought the Mr. Fusion back, and I was like, we don't need that shit. And then I was like, I put it on the shelf in the green room. And I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. And I started coming back to it. I thought, well, it'd be funny if the hoverboard was next to the Paul McCarthy skateboard on the wall.
And
It's a really good visual.
it is. It's going to be nice. And I'll tell you what, because it never fails. When I was coming in downstairs, there were two guys moving stuff out. And
What are you
they
supposed to be, some sort of a cosmonaut?
Immediately stopped and looked at the hoverboard. They're like, dude, what is that?
Oh, yeah, you weren't in suit yet,
No,
but you
I
were
was like,
carrying
I was like, it's a hoverboard replica from Back to the Future. And there was a long pause, and one of the guys goes, "Does it work?" I'm like, "No." I said, "You think I'd be here if this worked? I'd be out there hovering around."
I tell you, I can't remember in my mind. You know how all the memories blend together? We
Yes.
did so much shit.
Yep.
that I feel like Bob Gale gave me a hoverboard when we went to his house, because I went to his
Maybe-
house
maybe that is-
a
I
couple
don't-
times, but
yeah.
one time to do that. Remember we were going to do that documentary movie that never came out? They were doing a documentary on the nut jobs who make time machines like us.
Was this Sam and Chapin's documentary?
Yeah, and so I was there with them, and he brought everything out, and I swear to God, I think he might have given
He
us
very well
this.
may have.
In which case, it probably belongs to Moho. But thanks. Sweet.
It's I still think it's beautiful, warts and all. You know what I mean? It's
That's what it is. It's the fact that it's all beat up and busted up that makes me remember that. But I could be misremembering. I don't. There's so much.
So
shit.
easy to do. Like
All I
what's that
remember is
line? I've forgotten more about props than most people will ever remember. You know what I mean? With the stuff that we've
100%.
done.
I think of the. There was just weird things that we would. Whatever. Everything blends together.
It does.
I remember how happy we were to get our first at a time license plate to put on the car or whatever the fuck, and then later on screen used ones just gravitated toward oh, you've got one of the I worked on the thing. Here's the.
It's amazing. What I find sort of a little just nut jobby to me now is how easy it is for people to replicate the parts now.
For everything.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters was one thing, but the time machine for me on that
Yeah.
one blows
I mean,
my mind because you can 3D print
Plutonium
whatever
chambers,
you couldn't
people
find.
doing the turbines and stuff like that in metal,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They're like, $400.
Do you want it aluminum or titanium?
Yeah, I'm like 400. I'm like
$400 to make an exact replica.
insane. The
Well, no wonder everybody's making those cars now. Then,
right.
I was wondering because I talked to Danny about the same thing. I go, how the fuck is everybody doing this? You
Yeah.
remember how much work it used to be?
Yeah.
Do you remember all the times we we would go for one thing, we decided we're gonna find this one thing at Apex today or whatever, and not only did you not get a whiff of that, but something else caught your eye, and then you spent the rest of the day with a bug up your butt about that other
Right.
thing.
Seriously. Remember when you were pulling the T-panel off the top of the DeLorean and slit your fingers open when you're...
No, I remember when we were pulling the top off the DeLorean, and I said, all right, now don't let this go, no matter what, because I've got the sharp end here. It's not sharp on your side. I'm holding the knife side of this thing. And he's like, okay, yeah, no problem, whatever. And somehow let it go to give me the high sign or whatever, and it it tipped, and it serrated knife sliced right through to... I mean, I don't remember what finger it's on, but if you give me a second, I'll find the scar because it's not gone away. There it is. Yeah, clear across, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I've got so many of those. It's a miracle. So I'm sorry I let that go. And
Do you know how
cut
many?
your
I
fingers.
feel like, I feel like the things we get from each car are the car karma for whatever we're doing to the car. Like I was smashing windows on the DeLorean
yeah.
because I asked Danny. I was like, "Is there any? Should I take any effort removing this glass? Like, is there
Right.
any value to it?" He goes, "Zero value. Smash it." That was the text message back. Zero value.
And then we
smash it.
found out that we could just cut the rubber out and not have to clean glass up on the inside of the DeLorean.
It didn't work. We tried that first. It
Yeah.
didn't. It
Wasn't great.
It wasn't working. It was not working. But
I
gosh
remember
darn
it took a long time for you to wind up, and you're.
You remember that night? The first time?
It's
It was
such
the back
an
window.
unnatural thing. I'm going to break the windows of this DeLorean.
Well, and
so
then
we
it
can
didn't.
Put,
Well, then it goes one further. Then it didn't work. And then I was like using the screwdriver to fucking pry
pull the rest of it.
in between the
Yeah.
whole thing. And then it finally shattered, I think, in there. And then, down. Everything we were trying to.
Every story I've heard about the car involves you getting hurt.
oh, yeah. That's
Is that true? Because I honestly,
lot.
it treated me so well once it was done. Maybe it didn't have the confidence in us until it was done.
Maybe.
And loved
I mean,
by
that-
everybody.
when it comes to owning replica cars, there's some type of a weird curse that goes with them anyway, you know. But
It's like renaming a boat because you're
Yeah.
changing what it was.
but the DeLorean was pretty tight from beginning to end. That was a good car.
Yeah, it was.
It really was.
Mechanically, it was
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you, Danny Bodkin.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I got my christening spot from standing up into the door. That happened early.
Yeah, and I almost gouged my eye out getting gas with it probably a dozen times. Because if you leave the door open, the pointy door is right where
Yep.
you're getting. So
Yep.
if you're getting it and you bend you and it sticks out. It's a point. So you could be in here, and not even thinking about it, and you come up. And
I almost.
it's not even a
legit-
design flaw. It's just like, oh, it's weird that nobody thought of that.
I legit had to lay down on the ground of my driveway once because I was walking out at night. I think I might have been chasing one of the dogs, and I went full stomach into the fin of the Ecto.
Oh, That's how that's how Nancy's dad
Oh,
died in
that's-
Freddy Krueger 3.
Oh my God! Impaled by a 59 fin.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever. He was having a thing with,
Yeah.
bone Freddy Krueger, and he threw him up there on the thing, and the fin comes out his chest.
Oh, see, that's awful to do to the car.
It was like an Eldorado, I think, whatever the coupe is, but it was that fin, the one you're talking
so
about.
funny. It's real. I did.
How
I
do you miss the Ecto?
You know what? It was really dark out. And I was chasing a dog.
Did I mention the dog?
Get back here! Get
We were
back!
talking
Ooh!
dog.
I sounded like Wade Gustafson when he gets shot in Far Out. I went, oh, jeez, and just.
What a random pull from 28 years ago.
Well, I might have.
Holy crap! But I get it.
I might have watched.
It's
that
Harv Presnell.
movie
He was a
recently.
judge on
Yeah.
our show, The Practice.
It's so good. I didn't have any little down feathers coming out of me like he
Oh,
did,
like his
but-
jacket did. Yeah. What was that,
but-
Gore-Tex?
But I went down. I was like, oh, please.
Oh, yeah, right in the
sucked.
sternum.
Right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that could
Right
hurt
in,
you.
right in my diaphragm.
Well, if I didn't tell you already, our buddy Sean Bishop's here. We're talking Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and whatever else comes up. It's Reminiscing night. I should have played that song. As far as actual business, we're going to do a Monkey's Birthday on East Coast Feed and commercials and a lot of plugs for people coming on the show. And 9/3 at the Marconi Auto Museum. I want to remind everybody that we've got our buddy Canada Mike, who is equally a Ghostbusters fan up there.
Hi, Mike.
Have you ever, I see you have sort of the Ruby's costume top and the Spengler wand. Have you ever actually built gear or gone out as a Ghostbuster on Halloween?
Well, as you know, I'm an enthusiast, but I'm not a wrench, and so the what you guys do, as far as I'm concerned, is magical. I don't have the time, skill set, patience, or passion for building these things. However,
guy's not
I would be
interested at
happy-
all.
I don't
I would
like
be
very-
very
you guys.
Yeah, I don't like sci-fi or whimsy.
I could be very willing to pay somebody and even be a part of it, like being the guy that holds the broom and sweeps up after you guys are done. So because I feel like I'm so anti-crafty that I feel like I would destroy.
You're an
everything.
anti-craft.
Yeah, I'm an anti.
You're a rabid anti-craft.
I'm an anti-craftite.
You're
damn it.
craftist.
Oh, he's so crafty.
But no, what I
Poor guy.
would, I'd buy a Ghostbusters outfit in a second.
I explained to Sean that you are fan enough that you do get on the pre-order list for this. That's hilarious with the hoverboard in the back. Hell, maybe that's where it lives.
That looks so
Oh, I've got a
Maybe that's where it
HasLab.
lives.
I've
That's
got a
hilarious.
HasLab
It shows
Spengler
its own
pack.
space.
That's my question.
But that you got on the pre-order list for the Spengler pack and everything to match your wand, which is super cool because I missed out on the wand and the pack, and I feel like I could probably get the pack at this point, but I think the wand is long gone.
That is quite possibly the greatest toy that has ever been created.
The proton
This thing
pack?
here?
That Spengler Neutrino wand.
Oh, really?
I'm stunned.
Really?
Oh
When
yeah.
that thing came out, I'm like, what could it possibly do? I'm like, oh, everything it does,
So-
every damn thing.
All right. Well, since we're talking about it, then allow me to get the Spengler wand. I mean, the regular. What was it? The Matty Collector wand.
Oh yes.
Sean, one of my questions for Sean is
Yeah.
what he thinks of the Spengler pack and how it. Well, both of you for that matter, but what do you guys think of it? How much have you researched it, and how close is it going to be to what you guys did?
It's a work of art. It really is gorgeous, and right to the fact that you can pull the cyclotron off, and it's got the, all the guts inside, and you can flip switches and change, all sorts of stuff, and it's just, I don't know how they could manufacture it for less than, if
It's
it
the
took,
price that gets me. It's
Right.
not the technology to make it because of everything we said before. The price is nuts.
If it-
for $400, we couldn't build a fan pack for less than
no,
$1,500.
for
I would
all
say.
that thing does, that'd cost you like $3,000 to do it just by yourself.
parts
Put
from
all
the
in-
places
in the
where we built.
electronics and stuff like it's like, I don't know how they did it. Don't care. It's coming.
Well, they haven't done it yet, and they'll probably lose money
Well-
on it, but it doesn't matter because
Well,
the fans are going to get it.
yeah, I don't know, but if the wand is any indicator as to how the pack is going to be, it's going to be, you never would have
Yeah.
started building if it came out when we were kids.
Agreed.
That being said,
that was the whole thing, right? We wouldn't have done any
Right.
of that if the
Right.
Kenner pack was cooler, and we're going to play that in a few minutes. Go ahead there, Mike.
Well, that being said, with what you guys would do, I mean, this would be wood, not molded plastic. This would be an actual wrap, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, the incorporation of the sound effects. Do you guys have sound effects in your packs?
Yeah, we can get them, but it's, running 100 miles of wire and cable and shit and hooking up speakers, and bolting it to the motherboard on the inside and cutting speaker holes in the aluminum. It's a real treasure. It's fun. You should try it.
It's funny where I'm mixed on this, Mike, on my side, because in the old days, I said no to sound. I said lights, yes, no to sound, because the original packs had yes, lights, no sound. The sound was added in special effects, and I'm a big proponent for doing it the way they crafted it back then. I don't mean use incandescent bulbs, although they do look better.
They're gorgeous.
Significantly better, but
Now
run it all with the
now
power.
they've figured out ways to tweak the
LEDs.
so they do the burn and dip.
And I'm in. I'm
is
in on
insane.
all of
I'm
that.
like, damn.
But so what I'm going to say, so like on the old vintage packs, I say no. But the modern movie one, I think they had lights, sounds, vibrations. I think the kids' packs in the movie, I think, all did those functions so that they could kind of have a more immersive experience.
They were beautiful. I mean, I got to when we
So nowadays, I think I would do sound and everything if I was doing the modern pack like he's asking about.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in the same. You
I mean, honestly,
do you concur?
Yeah, I concur with my colleague.
Yeah, like I don't know if this translates through the microphone, but listen to this shit. Like,
it's
perfect.
You're perfect.
Do the slime mode.
Yeah, slime mode is this one.
Orange button.
Oh, look at you. Look at this. It is. And that's from the video game, right? That slime mode thing?
It fires like little ghost darts and stuff. Like it's got like 4 firing modes.
Outstanding.
And it's hard to hear, via the interwebs, but
sure. Well, you have one in your lap
the
there.
Speaker
you can just hand me that one. That's the Matty Collector.
This is the Matty, which, by the way, when
But
this
the
came out,
sounds are similar, right?
everybody loved that one too. The Matty Collector one is great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Oh, that's this shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, look, he's
you could hear
firing holes in the wall over there.
But then I don't really understand. Was this how the buttons really were in the movie? Like with all this crazy shit? I feel like they just sort of created it. Yeah?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know they are where they are, but I mean, as far as functionality
I
goes,
think maybe one
they
of the
just made it
switches
up.
worked at any one time.
That's what I remember on the packs
Yeah,
that we played with.
as opposed
the
to,
real packs.
oh God, Nicole is the only drop of estrogen in this tea. It's unbelievable. Like, it's a...
Honey, do you want to hold the proton pack?
It's a comfortable position.
Here, honey, you should try it. It's cool when you fire it.
Not even really. I mean, as a kid, this would have killed me because when I went to the Toys R Us to find the Kenner pack like everybody else, and I saw it, and I was like, it's not at all like the movie.
I know, right? Now there's guys that mod them out and put lights and sound in them, and they're really, really, really cute.
To me, that's awesome.
Little kids.
They were doing that with the Rubies costumes too,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
Like the hot chick proton pack that they made, which
Yeah.
is hilarious for the hot chick Ghostbusters.
So
Not
funny.
saying there isn't one. I was just like, it's how they do like the sexy maid and all that. They
Yeah,
had a
I
Ghostbuster with the short skirt and the whole thing.
I saw that at Comic-Con.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You remember.
It's over and
There's
over
a
and
place
over
for
again.
everything.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I guess before we go too far, I should probably tell you about St. Clair Insurance. Right. That's right. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What types of toys are we talking about?
Movie props.
That's right. And movie collector cars, exactly. Or any collector cars
I've
or
heard
anything
of
of
those.
value in that case. Yeah, actually, you used to have Haggerty, didn't we? Used to have Haggerty?
Maybe
Yeah, I think so.
that rings a bell.
Anyway, St. Clair Insurance is licensed at most states, and they have the insurance and coverage for the toys that you have as well. It's going to be a match made in heaven, just you see. Let's see. St. Clair Insurance is licensed in most states, and they shop top providers, so you get the best coverage for your toys. Let's get back on script here. Simply check out St. Clair Insurance by going to www.coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com,
coverageforyourtoys.com.
and tell Jeff St. Clair that Nicole says hello, because sometimes with MS,
I cannot.
yeah, that's right. This here is the famous Ghost Trap, but this one is interesting for a unique reason.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It's
Other than it's so cool.
Well, it's not quite complete yet, but it is from Afterlife. It's the Afterlife trap.
Oh, you're shitting me.
No, it is.
Well, what makes it
that's
different?
awesome.
A couple of tiny things, but the afterlife pedal. Look at the way the relay is on it.
Oh, look at that. Instead of being
right?
mounted
Yeah.
upright.
Isn't that cool?
I guess. Why'd they change it?
Don't know.
Fine. It used to be on like a plate here, and then it's
Stuck
set
up.
upright.
Yeah.
How
love that
can
they still
someone
have
get
the
a
planing nerds
Ghostbusters
know
Afterlife
that.
trap?
Yeah, and the plunger in the pedal too.
But I was gonna say, it seems to be all the right stuff otherwise,
It is.
right?
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
literally just changed that one.
Yeah,
thing.
they didn't. They just changed placement of some stuff. They didn't do a design overhaul. I think the
As if over
probably
the years, Egon
was like, I want it
Oh,
down
I
here.
stepped on that.
I
I'm
stepped
gonna
on it and
change
cracked it. Yeah.
Yeah, that
type of-
actually makes sense
it does.
because we did used to.
we
do
have, yeah, that does occasionally happen.
That's hilarious.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Hi.
He's like, I have a question.
Sorry, buddy.
Can I ask you guys what you guys think about the PKE meter in Afterlife? Was it always a shocker?
No.
And that
No.
just never
That
was
was in the
revealed,
early
or
days,
did
yeah.
Egon modify that?
Oh, he modded that. He was
He modded
just,
the hell out of that.
Dirt Farmer was out there just modding shit in the basement, and
I think he was half
I won't-
losing
I
his
won't-
shit,
Oh,
too.
yeah,
He,
yeah.
he was missing his old. I mean, the fact it was eating him up inside.
Yeah. I really, I mean, I loved the movie when I saw it, but and I realize
But now that we're talking about
I
it,
might not be an objective audience, but with repeat viewings, it has just become just such a wonderful, wonderful film about family. It's just
you're a dad now too,
yeah.
which you weren't ever before when those movies were out. I'm trying to think. Even the girls one, even when the girls one
Yeah,
came
no,
out, you weren't.
no.
Yeah.
He was born 2017.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ghana.
But
God damn it,
get it
Ghana.
done.
Ghana. God damn it.
Yeah, and and as you get older and you lose people, I appreciated the closure angle
Loved
of
that.
that, especially the and people are like, I don't like the daughter. I love the daughter. I get why she's angry as F. I get it.
Oh, people had problem with Carrie Coon.
Yeah, I loved her.
I liked it, and she was necessary because
She's
of the
great.
Egon storyline.
Exactly. I thought she was perfect.
I've
for it.
also I like her anyway.
I do too. She's a great
Leftovers?
performer. Yeah, she's fantastic. And she's funny too. Like when she got all demon dogged out, that was hysterical. Where he gave her the flower and she ate it, and like that was
I agree. She
was
was funny
funny.
as the
She was
Dana
very
Barrett kind
funny,
of thing,
yeah.
as Zool.
yeah. And Paul Rudd fit perfectly.
Yeah, I didn't think he would because I thought he was going to be like a Ghostbuster.
Right.
But as a Lewis Tully kind of a dude,
He was the Lewis Tully. I
hilarious!
love that he's the.
You're making me want to watch it again.
I know, right? Let's just.
You want to
quit the
stay
show
over
early and
just
just
keep
watch-
we won't take our suits off.
We'll,
and then
we'll just watch Ghostbusters and get a pizza.
I'll get the high C.
Oh my no! The Ecto,
Ecto
cooler,
Cooler.
which you'll drink and die. That's what. Yes, that's the right face.
we
That's
had
the right
It's
face.
just green
Cartons.
slime shampoo
It's
reused.
just it's like
So-
Prel drinking Prel.
We had boxes of that nastiness.
Awful. It was just Slimer on like some punch, right?
Yeah, it was
green punch.
Green
My
punch.
mom bought it for everyone to be happy. And we had at parties,
Oh, because the
it was-
kids asked for it.
Oh yeah.
Well, Nickelodeon, Double Dare, all that shit, it was brought to you by Green Slime Shampoo.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
you clean, won't turn you green.
That's so funny.
It was at every gathering.
I feel like
It was just on the counter.
Oh no, that's
didn't the High C, wasn't it sponsored during the TV show? Because I feel like when I'm
Oh, yeah.
watching the, it was, I keep saying Double Dare because I
was the
watched
co-
Double Dare
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I watched Real Ghostbusters.
but that was definitely the cartoon Slimer on the package. I remember.
Don't you remember them actually advertising at the same time, like during the cartoon?
Sure,
It would have, right?
I'm sure. Yeah, that was in the '80s when they let you do that.
Oh, interesting. You're right. Yeah, you're not supposed to now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to now.
Not supposed to.
Messaging.
No fun.
Branding and messaging. Can you turn the lights on the pack?
Yeah.
It doesn't make a noise, but it sure does
Not
light
this
up.
one, but the pack does light up. The wand lights. burn.
Oh, so
There
pretty.
we go.
So pretty. Did you say the wand lights burnt out?
Yeah.
Who cares? We got plenty of wands.
No,
here
that's
and
true.
Plenty of wand lights.
But it's one of those things where it's sitting in the garage and people go in and flip switches and then forget to turn it off, and I don't know they've been over there flipping switches, and I come over and like,
Oh, you mean the battery's just
Yeah,
burnt out?
yeah.
Oh, no big deal. Is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Everything was separate. We had. God damn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. All right. Here's something ironic. I had a proton pack for a couple years before I met you, and then I met you, and then we were building one, and I got rid of the one I had because it was really crappy, and I bought it from somebody. I shouldn't say that. It's not crappy. It was sold as
It
sort
was
of the
what it
Home
was
Depot.
at the time.
Yeah, sort of the Home Depot
Yeah.
pack.
the
But it
Norm
wasn't-
Gagnon pack.
Yeah, and I was grateful to have it. I
Right.
didn't mean to say crappy.
We all-
It
no.
wasn't crappy at all. But
We all
compared to
understand.
what's sitting here today, it was no comparison. And so we were building one for me, and it takes forever because of all the processes involved. And to do it from scratch, you've got to scratch, meaning they'd already done the work of making the mold and everything. I'm just going to pull a shell. It took weeks
That's
to do
a
that
lot of
crap, to
work.
pull the shell,
Yeah.
to then finish the shell and clean it up, then
Yep.
to paint it how I was doing it, because I was doing it how they do it now with the undercoat of
Yep.
silver and then black
And then-
on top and then remove.
And then removing it, yeah.
But anyway, all of that to say, after it was only like half done, maybe not even, and it was 6 months or whatever of going up on Sundays to him, and somehow somebody else, Brian maybe, had sort of worked it out where they were going to build Ernie Hudson a pack, but we had to do it in a
God,
certain
yes.
amount of time. There was a time constraint to it because he either had a con coming up or a trip, or for whatever reason they wanted to give it to him.
anymore. I don't.
But you
even-
remember that
Oh,
there
yeah.
was a crazy deadline.
Yeah.
So
And Brian had gotten this amazing like display box from an old model, that we.
Oh, I thought he made that.
No,
shit.
no,
But
no.
either way,
It
it
was
was
like,
all kind of coming together, and we needed
Yeah,
a
like
pack.
Poway City Hall or something. They were throwing out the model, and he kept the case.
Oh,
type
you're
of
right.
Thing. Yeah.
That's exactly right. He said it was a
It-
building
yeah,
model.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And we just turned it up on its.
that's why it was so stupid and heavy. But anyway, so we ended up taking the pack that we were all building for myself, and it became the pack that went to Ernie Hudson, right? So Brian and you and other people finished it. I didn't. Once it wasn't mine
Became
anymore,
a-
they took it.
It became
and made
like the village. I think we
project.
we busted it out in like a weekend.
But like with everybody, you guys all working.
Oh,
on
it was great. It was great.
And then it ends up going to Ernie Hudson, and I think I might have a couple pictures in here. Let's see. Yeah. All right, this is great. Because that's you. That's
at me.
you. You had some poundage on you back then. That's when we used to drink. We were drunk and trauma ridden back then. We've all worked out our issues.
I believe we ordered pizza again that day.
We
So
did.
that is,
We did. So here we are, and there's the
look at me.
DeLorean poking
Oh
out
my
in the back there.
God in heaven.
And this is your old shop where we actually built that
Giant
time machine
fish on the wall.
when you painted the walls like the firehouse.
Yep.
When was that?
2007. This might have been 2008. We built it in 2007 and 2008.
I cannot believe that.
And
Look
then
at
here
that.
you are either putting it on or taking it off Ernie Hudson, which is just so cool.
By the way, and can we all nod again and talk about that he's one of the greatest human beings that has ever walked the planet?
One of the kindest
He
people
is
on the earth.
just.
Do you want to tell? I mean, real quick, tell the story behind that day.
Oh well.
What day it was and how he ended up
You
there.
remember? Yeah, it was so funny. It was Mother's Day. It was Sunday, Mother's Day, because we were doing Shop Sunday, and all our mothers lived somewhere else, so we were up there in the Valencia shop with the roll-up door up, and
Well, we're all transplants.
yeah,
so
and
kind
we
of
had
whatever.
heard via Brian that Ernie might show up today and pick up the pack.
And we said no because it's Mother's
nah,
Day. He's a
nah.
family man. We
Right.
know him to be a family
Yeah,
man, and he has a
100%.
family.
His wife is one of the nicest people on the planet, just like him, which makes sense. So we're sitting there. We had ordered a pizza, as fat guys do, and
As shop guys do.
Shop guys do. That's true. It's not just fat
We're
guys.
out there just
There's plenty of
burning
skinny.
calories.
I
This was
know.
in Valencia, by the way, which
I
is
know. It's
Santa Clarita for
110
anyone else.
degrees.
Exactly.
Shade.
On the nice days, we were building it in 80,
Right.
85.
So we're just sitting up there, hanging out. One of the few days we weren't building that much. We were just sitting around in chairs because all the work had been done. And we were waiting for the pizza to show up, and this like a white Suburban type of thing showed up, just like an SUV with here's the pizza. Nope. Out steps Ernie Hudson. I was like,
Like a superhero.
Oh yeah,
Like
he
a
unfolded like Optimus Prime out of he transformed into
Like,
a human when he got out of the vehicle.
People may or may not know that he is insanely fit as a man.
He
Forget
just
for his
doesn't
age, just in
age.
general. But look
Look
at
at
like
him
he is.
there.
He's ripped.
That's
That's-
by the way,
that-
look at that
Look at
stance,
that
base.
back.
That is Ghostbusters 1 Winston.
No, I think he's
Standing there.
in better shape. But look at, I mean, I hate to get all weird about it, but look at his pec and his back
I
there.
know,
So that's the guy who climbs out of this SUV.
Yeah, and we all just froze there like
He
deer
goes,
in
oh,
headlights.
I guess I'm in the right place.
Yeah, yeah. He always starts with, "Hey, fellas,"
Yeah.
and you're like,
Hey, fellas.
I was like, "Well, this is happening," and
I hope it's Winston and not the warden from Oz.
yeah, and he just, you think, because celebs, and God bless them, you understand, because sometimes people don't know how to fan properly, but
We all get that way
Thank
sometimes.
God Brian dealt with him, and Brian's not impressed. I think if Jesus came down himself, Brian'd be like, I have a bone to pick with you, even though he's friends with him. You know what I mean? So I'm sure Ernie didn't get a fanboy vibe from Brian, which is perfect. He was the perfect point of the tip of the spear to get
Brian's
us
an
in.
ex-cop, and I think he was like an state cop too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was like a don't fuck with kind of cop.
Yes.
He still definitely has that
He's-
character persona to him of
Yeah,
like
but
just the facts, ma'am.
yeah, but it wasn't like Ernie showed up to pick it up and go. He stayed.
But that's what we were expecting.
Even
once
you were
it
like,
came,
well, he's
so
not
we
going
were
to stay at Mother's Day. He's going to be at it. No, he waited then the pizza showed up.
Yeah.
And we all sat and had pizza.
And he
with
stayed and
DeLorean.
had
He was
pizza
playing
with
with the
us.
props, and then came the presentation of the pack. Like he didn't even rush to it. You know.
He actually really dug the DeLorean. I forgot about that
Yeah.
because it was only like half done, but he could tell, you could see that what it was going to be, the Back to the Future car.
He's got good taste and he loves cool shit. Clearly. No, but it was.
Hey
it was
guys,
just- yeah.
Yeah.
what did he think of the pack?
I think he still has it.
Yeah. Still has it. We ended up building a suit. Not building, but
I think
somebody
he might
Brian
have
made him
taken
a suit
it to
for
a
him.
convention and it broke in transit, which we all expect that to happen with, traveling with Proton Packs. So
Yeah.
if he ever needs it
It's a
repaired,
lot of work
it is
to move one.
to move one. If you really want to do it properly, you got to get a big old Pelican case and even usually
And build it
disconnect
at
the
foam.
thrower and so
Yeah.
it's not all just jostling around in there. So
That's exactly what I would have said. The same thing. A
I've
Pelican
seen
case.
I've seen some heartbreaking things
Comic-
happen at conventions
Comic-Con,
with people.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Straps breaking.
I saw one guy try to take his thrower off, and the entire the whole body just ripped apart, and all the guts just went. Blah, 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 on the ground.
Like spaghetti.
He flung it forward, and everything just went brrr, and I was like, and he just stood there with it up in the air for a minute. I'm like, take a minute, buddy. You stay there
Like
as
a
long as you need to. Like he was fly fishing.
I'm thinking a magician with a bouquet, with it.
The flowers
Come out of the wand, yeah.
It would have been a Job moment, like flinging the dead bird, and it just hits the ground.
Joe from Arrested Development.
Fly!
I don't have time for your illusions. No, I don't have time for your magic. Illusions, Dad. You don't have time for my illusions.
You horse's ass. Fucking Jeffrey Tambor.
Oh, God. It was Mr. Bluth's son, Gob, who first...
God, Bluth.
And then, of course, our favorite from that entire line with, get rid of the C word. Would you?
I'll
They're
leave
talking
when I'm
about the
good
boat, the C word. Get rid of the C word. And the mother
I'll
standing there.
leave
she
when
goes,
I'm good and ready. I was like,
excellent
I
writing.
stood up. I was like Jessica Walters. I was like, that is the dirtiest joke I've ever heard on television,
network
and
television.
nothing was ever said.
No, it's like they didn't get it. It's like it
I
went
bet they
slid past
didn't.
the censors.
And I was like,
Because it was probably
Mitchell
written out,
fucking Hurwitz.
Seaward.
I'm like, you got, oh my God. I was like, damn.
So good.
Second funniest boat joke ever. The first one was in the Flintstones.
Lay it on me.
Barney and Fred bought a houseboat to surprise Wilma and Betty.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
We're just watching. You're not
Fred
going to believe
wanted
we're watching the Flintstones
Fred
right now.
wanted to name it the Seahorse, and Barney wanted to name it the Nautilus, so they compromised and named it the Now Sea.
I mean, what's it going to be, the Horseless?
And Betty and Wilma are just sitting there disgusted, and just Jean Vanderpill with her deadpan. She goes, "That spells nausea, you idiot." And I was just rolling on the ground, but then Mitchell Hurwitz topped it with the C word.
It's so good.
It really is.
Multiple levels.
Lucille
that show was
Bluth is
amazing.
one
I
of the
can't
greatest
believe you brought
characters in television ever.
it up. Don't you think?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Great stuff.
I love, especially that first season is just eminently rewatchable. But yeah, Ernie Hudson.
There's a time where
greatest human
Buster
on-
calls her a claptrap or something like that. I don't want to go near that little claptrap.
that dusty old
Lucille
claptrap.
looks
He
up
goes,
and says,
"Oh, the cabin. You mean the cabin? Who'd want to go up to that dusty old claptrap?"
I remember that one, too. It's the half a cabin because
Yes!
they're moving it. Hilarious.
Him and George Michael were on the porch. just
Sleeping.
driving.
Yeah. Just trying to get away. Trying to get away from all the bullshit. So, all right, I want to do the LA proper thing, but I'm not sure the best way to do it. You think we should put it on and be able to talk over it, or should we just put it on? We'll have us visually grin and bearing it through,
So
and
they can
laughing
see us
through it.
going.
Yes, being miserable while we watch our old selves,
Okay.
and then we talk about it afterwards.
Let's
Might
do
be
that.
better.
That's
That way
fine.
because otherwise we're going to talk over the whole.
We'll
content.
never get through it.
Or
it'll
I
be
could
like
maybe-
a mystery of Mystery Science.
We could always do
3000.
both.
I was going to say that
boys.
too, or I think I rigged it up where if we want to, I could just keep pausing it and just
That might
kind of
be a
whenever
happy
you want
compromise.
to,
That might be. Let's not talk over the whole thing, but maybe there's relevant parts where we need to pause and say a thing.
We could
I like
both
that, and you could
do
say just
both.
stop, and I'll just stop it.
Sure.
I mean, maybe if this all works.
Maybe.
I have no. I mean, we are really stretching the equipment's legs tonight. We've got screen shares on everything else. Oh, I never did that. Here, let's get online over here with the people.
That's so cute.
I know. Sorry, Emmy. Emmy Hall, looking at the new Myers Manx. There we are,
Yeah,
live.
that's me.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Nice. Beautiful. All right, so I'll put that down. Now we've got it. Now we don't need it. But it's there. Okay, I think... Here. Well, the thing is, I want to do this, but I don't want them to see it, so I have to look over here. There we go. And then... See, the computer is over somewhere else, but I'm controlling it from here. Maybe.
So much technology.
Maybe I am. And then finding the cursor here is going to be rough. Oh, but it worked. It worked. Oh, I can't find it. I can't see it. Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it here, folks. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. It's not great yet, but it's going to be great. Here we go.
Now for a good...
This is working. It's working so far. It's working so far. All right, now let me make it big. None of this is easy. I got to go so slow because the delay. There we go. Okay, you're going to love this. It's working. Stay with us, folks. All right, ready? All right, so I'll put... Should it be like... No, it should be like this. And then this, right? Like that? No, wait, hang on. I got one better. Here, let's do this.
The Speed Demon DeLorean.
Yeah.
I remember
Well,
this
don't give
clip.
it away. But you're exactly right. You've seen this before, mister. How's that?
I guess I have.
Is that all right?
That
With
looks
us like
good to
that?
me.
Oh, no, but we're the wrong camera. Here.
We need a shot with Sean.
I know. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. It's coming. I promise.
The voice above
There it
me.
is. There it is. Oh, no, shit. God damn it.
Grandpa, the other button.
Good thing I'm not landing space shuttles. Gee whiz. All right, does that...
Where's the any key?
That's better. Where's the what?
It says press any key. Homer
Well,
Simpson,
you're
where's
so
the any key?
stupid. I can't believe it. And I'm like, well, the what?
A lot of Karens in that crowd.
We'll fix this in post.
Yeah, I don't know if we will or not. All right. Here, I'll just play it, and then I'll make sure that we find the window. All right? Ready?
Sounds good.
Good. Wish us luck, everybody.
off on this Saturday.
We now join the Today Show already in progress.
Yeah.
Morning. There was this family in California. They were going down the highway when all of a sudden they were passed by the car from Ghostbusters. Remember the white Ghostbusters mobile?
Yes,
Sped right past them, but that's not all.
All right, yes, just moments later, look at this. It's a Speed Demon DeLorean from the 1985 movie Back to the Future.
I would love to take a spin in that DeLorean.
Trek, Raiders of the Lost Ark. The public has a long-standing love affair with Hollywood and the famous sets, props, monsters, and machines that make it great. LA Proper will take you into the heart of LA's TV and prop scene and into the hearts and minds of everyday movie lovers and obsessed enthusiasts everywhere.
My name is Sean Bishop, and I am a prop builder. I'm constantly building from the time I could walk. The Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters, a screen-accurate DeLorean from Back to the Future, Starship Enterprise's R2-D2 C-3PO's Darth Vader helmets, Stormtrooper rifles, the Ark of the Covenant, the Hellboy pistol, you name it. I can't even walk through a place like Target or a grocery store or anything without seeing a found object and be like, I could make something from that.
I'm Jay Ryan, and I have been obsessed with props for as long as I can remember. One time when I was about 10 years old, I built the Back to the Future DeLorean out of my bed. Did with stuff around the house, cardboard, cake pans, Campbell's soup cans. It was so fun and so great to have something, that creative outlet, that I just fell in love, and I've been doing it ever since. One of the overwhelming aspects about owning this car is literally driving it, because everybody's waving, everybody sees it, everybody knows what it is. There's something inside of everybody that does bring them back to that core when they were a kid. So our goal here is to reconnect people with the movies they've always loved and give them the props they've always dreamed about.
I wanted to do something very special for my husband for this coming birthday. He is a huge Ghostbuster fan, and I thought, what a great way to surprise him by getting him something he's always wanted, and that's a Proton Pack.
Oh, nice shooting, Tex! So Marcy comes to us and she asked us to build a Proton Pack for her husband, Steve, and There's a million little pieces on this thing. It's like a Lego set without directions. There's gonna be a challenge to get this one across the plate, but if we do our job, he's gonna be a very happy person.
Jay headed down to San Diego to meet Vinny, a true Ghostbusters fanatic.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on in this case here. They're action figures, right? They're certainly not dolls.
They're
dolls.
adult collectibles.
These look like
they're
very high quality.
Yeah, they're like
real
super
gloves.
posable. I don't like play with them or anything, but it was fun posing them in the first place to put them in there.
I'm assuming you don't wear this.
No, I don't wear this one. This is actually my wife Yvonne's.
So obviously she must be, okay with your mild obsession.
She actually hadn't seen the movie until after we wore the costumes. But,
oh my goodness.
But yeah.
Now what about her girlfriends?
Yeah, basically? I think it's all my friends. I don't think her family knows about this too much. So.
Vinny's Ghostbuster stash was no disappointment. Now we needed to see some hardware. So Sean jumped into the Ecto and headed out to find Ross to see what separates a real proton pack from one you can find in a toy store.
When I was growing up, I watched real Ghostbusters a lot. My parents bought me the Kenner pack. It was amazing. I was running around busting ghosts as a kid with the little foam that came with it. And then a couple years later at my grandma's, I saw the movie. The first thing I thought was, their packs are black, mine's blue. What the hell?
How do you go about starting something like this? What are we looking at here, first of all?
You gotta be really obsessed. I did my best with this to use as many of the original parts or replications of the original parts as I could.
Right.
But if you're, one of those hardcore fans, I would expect someone to come in and start picking it apart immediately.
All right, so let's do that a little bit. What we're looking at here is what, like a cup holder type of product?
This is exactly, it's a Dixie cup holder. It matches very, the mother piece matches very well to what was seen on screen. There it is right there. You're a Ghostbuster.
Armed with the information and the inspiration they needed, Jay and Sean headed back to our shop for the build.
Contrary to popular belief, this is not just a pile of crap that I dumped on the table here. We've actually got this broken up into a few categories so we can keep track of it. We got what we could find, what we could buy, and what we have to build.
And this is going to be our buff for the mold that we're going to make to do fiberglass shells, correct?
Yep, this is going to be our master.
And how long did it actually take to put this together?
Probably about 18 hours of accumulated time.
What are we doing?
I am putting the finishing touches on this beautiful aluminum particle.
Very nice. What can I do to help?
Want to do some resin casting?
Absolutely.
We got our basic 2-part polyester resin. We're going to do an ounce of A and an ounce of B. We're going to powder the molds, and then the resin is going to go from that cup into there, and we're going to pour up these beautiful particle thrower molds.
Perfect.
And I'm going to get back to the aluminum ones.
I'm on it.
Here it looks like we've got a pretty close to being finished proton pack.
Yeah, I'll say so.
We beat it up a little bit.
And this was just rubbing buff you used, right? To get all this kind of, looks like the paint's actually taken off, but it's actually a layer on top.
So we may as well stand her up and attach the particle thrower. What do you think?
Let's do it.
There we go.
This is a very exciting moment.
That on.
There we go.
Nice. Don't look down the barrel. Don't do that.
Okay, well, we got our proton pack for Steve completed, but we still need a little help with our reveal. Who on earth could we call?
My wife Marcy told me that Dan Aykroyd was doing a vodka signing of his own vodka in LA, pretty close to where we live. Dan asks if I want to take a picture with him.
Want to get a shot here?
Sure, I'll lean over the counter and get a picture of them. The next thing I know, there's a guy with a proton pack and he's giving it to Dan, and I'm thinking, what is he doing with that?
Congratulations.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? I can't believe this is possibly happening.
To a devoted DB.
Oh my God. Thank you so
One of our heads of cadets right here.
Makes me feel like an official Ghostbuster since Dan gave it to me.
When you come by the set, you'll be able to get the other guy.
I don't think any fan could have, could have a better experience than that. Marcy has always been my best friend. Having her come through and do something for me in this way that's so meaningful to me, it's amazing, and I love her for it.
Another satisfied customer and another great build. We'll see you next time on LA Proper.
It has been
The thing that's different about a Verbo vacation.
Get rid of that.
Turbo.
Some ad. That's just an ad on the YouTubes. All right, it has been. Look at me. My zipper clearly broke because I'm
I'm having zipper difficulties today.
I'm more of a transmission mechanic than I am a Ghostbuster over here with the. It's been a million years since I've seen that. How about you?
Same.
We laughed through it. We laughed through it mostly.
I thought it was going to be more critical, but actually watching that, I'm like, wow, that's really a highly polished
sizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we had a real show.
Yeah.
I know. I thought the same thing when I watched it back, and at the time, I remember picking it apart because it wasn't good enough.
Right. You always do that when you're in the middle of something. Like you can never. I don't know. It's just. It's interesting.
Nobody can hear you.
Oh, it's interesting to watch it in hindsight now. And I'm like, that's fun. That looks fun to me. That looks fun.
It was fun.
I'd watch a show like that.
We were too young. I think we would have killed each other.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't happen, but I'm kind of glad it didn't happen then.
Yeah, seriously.
But I'm sort of open to it happening now. I wouldn't mind being, the older Mythbusters instead of the younger Mythbusters.
It's funny, the one thing that I always
maybe I'll get myself a new suit.
You know what you're doing? You're literally ripping your suit open the way Doc Brown does to show the bullet holes.
What the hell?
He does this. Yeah.
I love you, Chunk. It's like Superman.
That's awesome. That was like 50 references in a second, which ended with Goonies.
All right, we got to check in with Mike up there, who has probably
Hi,
never
Mike.
seen that, I'm guessing. Have you? I've never shown that to you, right?
No, I've seen all of it. When you and I connected, originally you threw them at me and I watched them. I've watched those probably 5 times in the last year.
Oh, geez. All right.
Wow.
Well, shit.
You're the one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad you liked them enough for repeat viewing. That's very nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Should have gone to
There were
series.
Who fucked that up?
Not us. I blame myself.
So do I.
I blame VRBO.
I know. I'm sorry. That's who has the ad on after. I gotta.
Verbo.
You know what? Here, I'll get rid. Now that we're done with that.
Never
apparatus.
shopping with them.
I love how you finished the show. Everybody going and looking into Ecto 1, which wasn't featured in the show, so it shows that there's potential for future stuff as well.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. We had all sorts of ideas for that. We wanted to do, and we wanted to. The idea was that the premise for that show was that there was this little secret specialty prop shop within the confines of a larger existing prop shop, sort of the secret door, what's behind the secret door thing, and that was LA proper, and you go there for like the specialty things,
like
not for your movies, but
it's like the Ink and Paint Club. Walt sent me.
Remember we said that
Yeah.
and we were
Booga booga.
We just watched that in 4K. It is absolutely spectacular.
Every frame of
unbelievably
that
good.
holds
The
up.
colors and everything. One of Zemeckis' best movies.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what the hell I was talking about, but
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have either of you ever done a Han Solo in carbonite?
Yes, I have one at the house.
I've never heard of what you're talking about.
No, that's
need
Star
one
Wars.
hanging on my
He doesn't
wall.
Like that.
No, the truth is, if you look closely in that LA proper reel, it's hard
he's
to do
back
that.
there.
You can see him in the background in the window.
Yeah.
He's just sort of transparent because he's in
Guess
the
I
window.
gotta watch
He's
it
back
again.
with,
Yeah.
with all that shining through. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's definitely in there.
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I need one of those.
Why
for
do
my
you
wall.
want one
I
of
need one
those?
for my wall.
Oh.
Well, I know someone that might be molding one. So.
You sounded like
Holy
John Lovitz.
crap.
Well, I know someone.
Well, I know someone. who
Hold on
might
to a
have one.
sugar roll. Macaroni and cheese. We got to make this.
And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Wedding Crash.
Yeah,
See, we
Wedding
went all
Singer.
over the place. Not Wedding Crashers, Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
Oh God! See, that's what happens with you.
That
My
movie.
brain
That movie
explodes with
is also
enthusiasm.
brilliant. It's better than it has a right to be, honestly. But it is so perfect.
There are some things on this card that we
50
have to
First
get.
Dates is the same thing.
What? Yeah, 100%.
50 First
100%.
Dates is excellent. That's one of our special ones because
Hawaii and everything.
so-
no, she doesn't have a memory. I'm married to fucking forgetful Lucy over here. Yeah.
Did you see the updated version that they did of that?
Is it a secret?
No. It was like a video on
Oh,
that Adam
oh yeah,
Sandler
maybe
and,
I did
and
when
Drew
they're
Barrymore
because they're.
shot.
I did. I think when she started her talk show, I think they did.
Yeah, and he's talking about there was a pandemic and no one's been outside for 3 years, and she's like, it sounds like you're making that up. And it was just straight news
in the video of what she watches when she wakes up in the morning to get caught up on everything.
It was real,
and it sounds like ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's all true.
Ernie Hudson Proton Pack. We did that.
Yes.
Oh, but so the irony is, I had a Proton Pack for 2 or 3 years before I knew you, hanging on the wall in my living room or wherever I had it. And then since I've known you, all the amazing things we've done, I've never had a proton.
You probably need one.
No, I was gonna get the one that I didn't do it. I didn't do it in time.
No, wait.
The Kenner, not Kenner. How
You
old
were
am
not
I?
gonna.
What's it called? What's it called? The
You're
one
a
he's got.
child at heart.
But who's doing it? It's not
HasLab.
Matty Collector
It's
anymore.
HasLab.
Hasbro.
HasLab.
Yeah,
There we go.
HasLab.
HasLab.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it. Thank you.
Can HasLabs?
He's like, they've got my money.
Yeah, he's like, I have 7 of them on pre-order.
Oh well, I'll get one of his.
Yeah,
then,
just
maybe I'll buy it off of
his.
eBay.
Yeah.
What's eBay?
You really need to build one. You know this, right?
I know, and there might be a reason to at some point, but if I do, it'll probably end up in the back
Who
of...
needs a reason?
Because if I end up,
I know what
I'll
you
end up doing the same thing where I'll end up sacrificing it for the project.
No,
of
we're
going-
faster these days, by the way. There's more modular parts. You can put. We could actually put one together in a full weekend.
Really?
Start to finish. Scratch with lights. Yeah.
Are they still fiberglass? Are they metal now?
Easy
Or
as
how does
pie,
it...
buddy.
He didn't answer that at all, did he?
Oh, yeah, they're still fiberglass.
Okay. All right, so
One
I
of the
guess
kits
all right,
that
so,
came out is
so
very thick
One of the
fiberglass.
reasons I'm very then that's one of the reasons I'm very happy to be back in each other's lives. Then, so I can get a proton pack at the end. Of it.
That's
Hey,
the
what
real
about a
reason.
trap?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the Jay misses
do
the
they
boat
take?
on things, doesn't he? On these limiteds, because I don't usually subscribe to the emails, and I don't get them until everyone talks about. Oh, did you get your order in? No, I didn't.
No.
The Matty Collector Trap is, in Sean and my agreement here, the best toy ever made. It is so stinking good.
It really is.
And an interesting little tidbit on that is if you paid close attention in the LA Proper video when we were talking about it and pointing up at the plans.
Yeah.
Of how we were going to build stuff.
Is it just set dressed up there?
Those were the plans.
Oh, yeah.
That you made for the trap.
They were.
That was it. Mattel ended up using.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, to build theirs. And
Very-
I
yeah.
always thought, man, you nailed. Like I couldn't believe how if you put them side by side, the dimensions were perfect. And I go, how did you? I mean, we all do it, but it's not. How did you get it perfect? And now it makes perfect sense.
But what is wonderful is that if that urban legend is actually true, and they did use some of my plans to make that, the funny thing was I did those plans completely with measurements taken off of the screen-used Ernie Hudson stunt trap that I have.
Yeah, the foam one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are
It
real.
basically
They are
looks
still real.
exactly like this. Yeah, that's just the way the circle comes back around is so funny. It's amazing
On all of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like DeLoreans and musicals and stuff?
Hilarious. I didn't put the picture in here, but
Well,
that blew my mind the other day. So I posted, you guys on social media, you saw I posted that the Back to the Future musical, they were using the car that we built, our old car, in all of the promotional materials.
Oh yeah.
And then the current owner of that car zoomed in further and told us it went a little beyond that. They scanned our old car digitally.
Yeah.
So that they could then replicate it for that musical and all of the other shows that will be done around the world.
Can we get one? For fuck's sake.
Nuts.
That's
You
genius.
guys worked so hard
That's
on that.
genius because we could have I don't know, it's plastic fiberglass. I don't know what they're making him
I
out
don't
of.
know, but
he sent a picture of our old car with
next to one of the replicas.
with one of the
I'm like,
replicas, and it's just two fucking
it's like,
time machines.
Son of a bitch.
And they
It's
did
like,
it all.
oh
It's
my
all digital now, so they can recreate it whenever they want, like we were just talking about. So they're going to make them in all the different cities. Isn't that hilarious?
That's hilarious.
And it's our old car.
I got to go see one at some point.
Oh, it'll come to the Pantages,
yeah.
and we'll have front row tickets.
We're going to have to be. We're going to have to.
We'll buy them on Craigslist.
We'll get them at Verbo.
Oh, the writer's in the house. All right. Also, things on this. So, all right. So, I will end up with a proton pack at some point because, I mean, what's an office or green room wall without a proton pack on it?
You can get a glass case from an old city model if you want.
But the answer to his question was, I would love a trap so bad. I still kick myself to this day for not getting on that. It was like $200 or something.
I think it was $300 or $350.
$300.
Yeah.
And they're impossible to find now.
Well, not.
It's $1,000 now if you get
If
somebody
you can
willing
find
to
one.
part with one
Right.
because it is the perfect toy. It looks exactly like this, which looks exactly like the movie, and it works exactly like the movie. There's a hose and everything. You push this down, it opens up. There's lights inside.
I mean, if we're honest,
It's
it works
amazing.
better than the movie because it does that little show after you close a trap where it rocks like the ghost is trying to get out, and the light goes up and down the center, and it
and it actually does all that stuff again
100%.
versus the movie where it was just a static prop.
Yeah. It really is. It's really one of the greatest toys ever made.
That's another one that probably cost them $1,200 each to make, and they sold it for $300 or whatever.
Know how
they
that
lose money
works
on each one of
either,
those. They have
you know?
to. It's like a Bugatti. It's like a Bugatti Veyron. You know what I mean? BMW VW lost like $250,000 on each car they sold or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Hey,
like a
Sean.
business card. Yeah.
I have a Razor Crest from HasLab sitting
You get
inside the original box. I haven't pulled it out yet.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm so excited.
I've seen it out of the box. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've seen it out of the box too. I just haven't. I wanted to wait until a day where I need it.
There's somebody online that did a mod on their HasLab's Razor Crest and lit it up. They put lights in it.
Ooh. I don't know what a Razor Crest is, guys.
It's a Star Wars.
Oh, that's why.
It's a Star Wars toy. That's why I said, "Hey, Sean."
Oh yeah. Fine. Another thing, you're educating me left and right. Voltron. I thought Voltron with the Lions was Voltron 1.
I know.
And it's Voltron 3.
The numbers change sometimes depending on the region where it was shown. It's just ridiculous.
So was the space one with like the 25 or 30
the vehicles?
Things? Yeah, was that Voltron 1 then?
I'm not sure.
Because I always thought that was a subpar Voltron versus my Lion. I like the
Lion
Lions.
ones. And I never saw the one with 3 arms. It's stacked on top of itself. I've never seen that one. They had the toy.
You told me about it. I looked it up afterwards. Yeah. Maybe there wasn't a cartoon for that one. But
there was.
But the Lion Voltron one, it was always a little bit smaller because it took place on Earth.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was in space and they went to different galaxies. Like,
right.
They always had the...
It had sort of a Star Trek-y element
what was
to it.
The something beast? The War Beast?
The Roe Beast.
Roe Beast.
Yeah. That would have bothered you all night if you couldn't remember that.
How old? I was like in 2nd grade when I was watching that shit. 3rd grade, maybe?
It burns itself into your brain.
I just wanted
My son is
so
running
bad.
around singing the Transformers theme. He's watching Gen 1 Transformers.
That's what started this whole thing the other day.
He literally...
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, my God.
Which is amazing, because I didn't get into that one, but like it was huge.
And he is
Turtles in a Half Shell.
It's
Turtle
all...
Power.
It's,
you too?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Seth,
No, I have a different question.
Seth Rogen is writing another.
He is for Nickelodeon. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, wait, isn't your show on Nickelodeon?
It is.
Oh, so you're...
He'll just wander down to Seth's office and be like, you need me.
Yeah.
Bring pot.
I know. I mean,
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking the same thing. I thought, if you just walk down with a casual swagger, you might probably get in on that meeting. Yeah.
I know.
He's awesome.
I like
when
what's up, Sean?
around like many people, he's great.
That's so funny. I'll just show up like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds and be like Wonder Joints with the giant.
See, these are all movies that were lost on me because I was either too young or not
that
into
is true.
I wasn't
We found
drugs
Bush
until I was an adult.
Right.
I didn't smoke pot or do anything else.
Responsible
I didn't
enough
drink.
to know what to do with them.
No. I didn't drink as a kid or any of that.
I found a lot of those old 80s movies late because my mother is one of those, we're not getting cable, I'm not paying for television, yet everyone else in the neighborhood was watching HBO.
Same thing, and I would have to bring blank videotapes to my grandparents' house in the summertime when we go visit to record everything that was on that week on HBO.
Yeah, and I'm sucking sand watching Channel 56 Godzilla double features and shit like that.
Fine-tuning the snow
yes.
on UHF, yeah.
Watching Creature double feature and Candlepin Bowling. That was my life.
Here is, you guys saw us make the Proton Pack on the show. That is the actual one. And I'll go one further, and this is where things are kind of cool, but maybe we need a visual for it. So maybe I should look it up. But that Proton Pack had a rather unique fate, and while no one here ever saw LA proper, the chances are good that everyone watching this show saw a picture of someone very famous wearing that pack, and if I can... Although, I guess he put one on again for the movie recently.
Oh, yeah.
But until
but
then,
at the time, we were like, this will be it.
It was the first time since, he said, and nothing in between.
Yeah.
Bill Murray wore this pack at the Scream Awards in 2010 or whatever it was when we did I was already working on the thing because we had the time machine in the show for the 25th anniversary of that movie.
Yeah.
And they were doing the reunion
That's
of Michael
so
J. Fox
much.
and Christopher Lloyd. That's why they were in our car when they did the pyrotechnics with the fire and the whole thing.
I glossed
live at the Greek
over
Theater.
all that. Matt and I did not listen.
And
that's a lot.
Because we were doing that, once they got Bill Murray, they said, wow, well, would you do this? And once they got him to say, well, if you can get the stuff, I'll put it on. They came to me because they were like, wait, we've got a nerd on the payroll right now who could probably make this happen.
That guy knew what that thing was called.
Yeah. That's Right.
Hey, you, Nerd Pack.
The
you
Ghostbusters
guy.
backpack. You know what I'm talking about.
Super fan, 99 over here.
Anyway, all right, here we go. This is beautiful.
Where is it?
So I'm going to share here. Can I do this? Is it here? Yeah, there we go.
Jesus.
You remember this? Whoopsie-daisy. Well, what do you think? What do you think of that? Shit. God damn it. Nothing works the way you think it is. What the? Oh,
Verbo!
For fuck's sake. You son of a bitch. Anyway, you guys remember all these pictures from Bill Murray at the Scream Awards. And that was a night that we were there, and we did it. And that's the same pack that he's wearing right there that we made.
And goddamn, did he... Oh, I can't believe it. It takes my breath away when I see that photo. I'm just like, damn.
It's pretty nuts,
he
right?
He looks so good. And
like,
just, his little
routine, will I get booted off if we just put this on?
I've watched it a couple of times. He literally had them eating out of the palm of his hand the second he stepped on that stage. He's doing a little head shaking like he's got Breck girl hair. He's in the worker's vest and he's swaggering around. He's owns it the second he walks out.
Waiting for this video will play after
He
ad.
did an Afterlife too.
What's that?
He looked that good in Afterlife too.
Yeah, he was
and it was Sarah Silverman, of course, who brought him in. Of course it was.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So did I. And there's the Freddie Glove. Remember? See, it was huge that year.
I love her. Look at that.
Yep. Now, I wish we could do the audio here. We can't because it's YouTube.
Oh, really? Will they not let you?
Well,
we get in trouble.
See what we can do.
Get in the trouble.
Woohoo!
Remember, they had the pack planted behind him where he had to pick it up.
Yeah.
And then he really cinched it, putting it on like he was moving. And I remember I was thinking to myself, please, Jesus Christ, don't let the particle thrower fly off.
Yeah, because it might have.
Because he was really wrenching it around.
Wasn't that amazing?
I'd like to thank you, the dead.
Moments like that don't happen.
Huh?
The moments like that don't happen.
No.
People don't do that.
No.
And he was notorious for not
wanting to have anything to do with that.
Thank you very much.
And he's incredible. Anyway.
Thank you so very, very much.
Yeah, on and on.
He couldn't even start.
No, he couldn't, and it was so great. It was so great. That was a hell of a night. I was backstage working the whole time, but you and Kelly, if I recall, were in the audience. Weren't you?
Yeah.
Watching the whole thing happen.
I was just like.
So you were involved with like the two main things that year.
And it just occurred to me. Oh, that was the same night as the DeLorean. Like how could you forget something
for
like
me,
that?
I was up there for like 3 weeks,
right?
So it was all ingrained and driving the DeLorean,
right?
Putting the DeLorean on a
the
forklift
lift.
to put it onto the tongue to drive it onto the theater where it then lived for 2 weeks or whatever. Dude, it was crazy. And I told you what they wanted to do when they originally contacted me, right?
Were they going to crane it in, like flying?
You got it. They wanted to take the wheels off and everything, and we were going to build a fake chassis on a rig and then put our body from our car on that flying fake chassis, because literally it's like 4 bolts. You can take the DeLorean off the body. And we were going to do that. And it was going to have the flying wheels and the whole thing. And when they found out what it would cost and how long it would take, they were like, all right, so we'll drive it in. We'll have the pyrotechnics, the fire, and the whole thing.
All right.
And if I recall, I think it was a thing with Michael J. Fox where he couldn't get in the car at that time or maybe that night or whatever, or it was just going to be too awkward. And that's when they decided to have David Spade drive it out, and then they walked out behind it.
Yeah.
But it was pretty awesome because it was just a crazy night. To see our car with the fire behind it was pretty cool.
It was batshit.
Although I don't, we were behind it, so it was sort of weird pushing it out there.
It's funny, there have been so many times that we've done stuff just for the sake of our own nerdy edification, because wouldn't this be cool? And then suddenly shit happens because you've built something like that.
Like being followed home by TMZ between the Scream party, Scream Awards and the after party.
Are you serious?
Yeah, remember they followed me with the camera out the window? That's hilarious.
So funny.
And in case you don't know what we're talking about, let's just do this whole thing
again.
With the time machine.
May as well.
See if this works. Go ahead, David Spade.
Ooh, Spady.
Oh, I did all the driving for this. I forgot.
Oh, wow.
I did all the driving.
I forgot about this.
Not the right keypad sound effect.
That's so great. The digitally projected clock is so awesome. Yeah, their effects for this were huge. That's a movie. He might have been partially responsible for the two biggest pop culture moments of that whole show that night.
All right.
Is that Kelly Osbourne?
Nice, nice, huh? I know you're thinking, how much Coke is in that DeLorean?
Not funny. Not funny. Never
Seriously,
was.
Don't text and travel through time. They wanted me to tell you that. There are two men who know their way around every decade. Men who have survived all the dangers of time travel. Gunslingers, hoverboard gang, sexually aggressive mothers. I'm talking about Marty McFly and Doc Brown. In 1985, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and director Robert Zemeckis brought us the single greatest time travel movie ever, Back to the Future.
David Spade's done some cool shit.
Who could forget lines like, "Hey, Doc, you gotta give me a minute on this here. Mallory?" Back to the Future continues to be loved by audiences year after year. In fact, everyone stay quiet. The 25th anniversary trilogy is available on Blu-ray and DVD for the first time ever later this month. It's good news. Set your time circuits to awesome, and let's get ready to go back to the future.
For the music, the second it starts.
Marty, you interacted with anybody else today besides me?
I've never seen purple underwear before, Calvin.
Hey, McFly! What?
Calvin!
Marty!
Dad!
Daddy-o? You're my
name is Lorraine.
You're George McFly.
George McFly?
Do I know your mother? Yeah, I
tight.
think maybe you do. Hey, you. Get your damn hands off her. Yeah, well, I might have sort of bumped into my parents. Great Scott. My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? What of a DeLorean? Look out! Thanks a lot, kid.
Don't be such a square.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Think, McFly. Think. I'm afraid you just turned on Are you okay? Release.
Together again, the stars of Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox.
That's right. Get on your feet. You too old, guys. You look good. Chris looks good, too.
It was on and on. It's like another 3 minutes of people applauding for
Yeah,
them, but
rightfully so.
But yeah, it was seeing the shit back. It's amazing that we were part of that stuff. I was backstage for all of that, and I don't mean backstage. I mean it was actually on stage, like
That's insane.
watching from the fire trails
In the prosceniums.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. That's
the fact that we were. I mean that was iconic shit.
It really was.
And it was
still
kinda,
is. I mean, geez.
I know, but it felt like kind of the heyday of that, and it
Yeah.
feels like the kids have now taken it over, and now it's another generation.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was like the heyday of fandom.
That was a high water mark, man. That was pretty great.
I can't believe we didn't see that at the time. Like, we were like high profile nerds. We were nerds.
I may have possibly been suffering from head up ass syndrome a little bit.
Oh,
but,
I had that. I had that.
Yeah, it's,
I still have it, actually. I'm recovering, but you never really get rid
I'm
of it.
a recovering head asser.
Producer Mike up there in Canada, what do you think after those two little bits of video?
Oh, I mean, it's absolutely incredible, and you nailed it. You were part of a moment, and I think being part of that moment and not realizing you were part of the moment adds charm to the moment.
Yeah, I guess so. I just was so like it was a job for me.
It was.
For one,
You
so
were
I was
working.
like I had to make
You're
sure
working,
that we were
yeah.
actually working. So I took it seriously, like a real production job,
'Cause
even
it
though
was.
that's not what I was paid
Yeah.
to be doing.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like until I met Carol Leifer later in life when we first started the podcast here.
She's amazing. God, I've heard her on other shows. She's just incredible.
She's one of the smartest people in the world. Yeah, of course. I mean, smart, successful, talented, all the above. But her advice to us was enjoy it. Like whatever the ride is going to be, just enjoy it. Like don't forget that part. It's really important because sometimes you get somewhere and you don't even know how you got there or where or why or whatever. And,
Or why you're still there.
Yeah, it's something I take with me ever since. I know you do too, right?
Every day I think of it.
Let's see. What do they tell you to be mindful and be present in the moment?
Yeah.
I try that. I mean, I fuck it up all the time, but I'm trying like hell to.
At least you remember to think about it.
Yeah.
Like that's all any of us can do.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I always wanted to be somewhere else. No matter where I was,
Right.
I wanted to be somewhere else. You're always looking at the next thing or the other thing or whatever. And now as an adult, all I ever want to be is here.
Producer Mike, I almost dropped a Yoda quote on him, but I knew he wouldn't get it.
Oh, well, let's hear it. Producer Mike will get it.
What is it?
And the rest of the world
Say,
who
always
likes Star Wars.
Long time I have watched this one. Always has he looked away to the future. He never his mind on where he was, what he was doing.
Is that true? Is that real?
Yoda says that to Luke. He pokes him with the stick.
And he's talking about Luke?
Oh, yeah.
And does Luke ever grow up and then see the...
Well,
I mean, I know he sees the Force.
He loses his fucking hand first, but then eventually he gets his shit together.
Yeah, but he finds his dad.
He does.
He loses his hand, but he finds his dad.
And then loses his dad. It's like Shakespeare.
That's tragic. Did you watch the ILM documentary yet?
No.
Or the
I hear
docu-series?
I hear it's
we watched it
incredible.
all
So
in
good.
it's 6 pieces. We watched it in 2 settings. What, you got to it, man? You saw it?
I did, yeah. It's so good. I love it so much.
And I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but the making of Star Wars is so
Oh,
fascinating.
God, now, that's a heyday. For anyone like us who ever wanted to do that, you up there with Phil Tippett and Dennis Muir and all these people doing shit up there. Good
Yes.
God.
And John
Punk
Dykstra.
rock prop
John
making.
Dykstra.
John Dykstra, who we know
Ben
through
Burt.
through his daughter.
Oh, Chloe. God, that's right. I forgot. And Ben Burt hitting tension wires with
for that
wrenches to make the
sound.
laser. I'm going, damn.
Is that what it is? It's the gun sound? It's the
Yeah, the laser bolts. Yeah.
Anyway,
And
it's
TIE
fascinating.
fighters,
It's really cool.
Trucks on the freeway. So, that was them just
They
playing
do
with it.
less of that than more the story of how they built the company and all of the geniuses in it, and then they spend some time with some of the projects that the geniuses.
You know what
worked
that
on.
was? That was the analog version of what Apple became for computers. You just had the top of your field innovating while the field was being built.
The parallels are undeniable
Yeah.
when you watch the thing, and then when you factor in the Pixar of it all, and the fact that Steve Jobs and Apple
Jesus.
and Pixar. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's everything you're saying is undeniable.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. Back to the card because we're shit here. All right. Mattel Trap. We got that. LA Proper. We watched that. Told you about Bill Murray, and geez, we watched the whole 2010 Scream Awards. Here. Before we talk about Ghostbuster cars, which we'll finish that.
You know
with
what's funny?
that.
Too? That bullshit.
Your bullshit.
Unfunny joke that Spade did.
Oh, about the cocaine. And
I had forgotten about it, and right before he said it, I remembered. I went, oh, and then he said it again, and both of
Did you
us
have
went,
a pre-cringe?
no.
A pre-cringe.
No, I did.
I had a
did.
pre-cringe.
I went, oh, I think that thing is coming. And then we
Yeah.
both went, the same tone of voice in stereo, like, not cool.
Yeah, and as a comedian, I go, oh, he's making a DeLorean joke. To me, that was the same as the. No, nobody went up and slapped him, but it was the same type of like, oh yeah, that's probably in bad taste. Like, why would you put any type of negativity on the thing? Or the
Why
movie?
do that? Why do you have to do that?
But at the same time, I'm not mad at David Spade. I feel like if you're going to make a joke about the car, what's he going to figure out? Talk about the stainless steel? He doesn't know that shit.
No, he doesn't know any of that. The reason we get pissed is because we know Kat.
Yeah,
and what a
Well,
great
she's been
person
integral
she
in
is.
so much we've done since, and
Yeah.
and the whatever. Yeah, you under everything you're saying.
Yeah.
L.A. proper great. Here's a story. Go ahead.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Um,
Dun, 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 dun.
This has nothing to do with you, but here's something else that car was used in. I was doing something, I don't even remember why, but
John
there's John
Cryer.
Cryer. And everybody else was on this
You
shoot.
did the Kobe shoe event too.
He did?
You did.
Oh, I did,
The
yeah.
Kobe shoe.
Well, hang on, one thing at a time. Sometimes I got a through line here. Sometimes not, but sometimes yes. So we did all sorts of stuff. That particular one had Lake Bell was in it, and the Coen brothers were in it, and the guy from Silicon Valley who's fun, T.J. Miller was in it.
T.J. Miller?
Tons and tons and tons of people. It was like something for UTA. But he really loved the car, and he was like, we did something where he was riding in the car, and he just totally
I don't have
loved
to,
it.
because you did some work with him. He is just a peach of a human being, another one of the nicest people on the planet.
Yeah, but you're saying that because you've worked with him.
I got to work adjacent to him. He was the original voice of Dusty in the Planes movies, and he was just charming.
What'd you do with those?
I developed 5 of the films that nothing ever got made. But
weren't you gonna direct them?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It would have been awesome if it happened.
Shit happened. Shit happened.
John Cryer was great, though. He was one of the sweetest people on the planet.
I didn't mean to just John Cryer drop the DeLorean there, but to get to this, tell me the story behind this picture.
That
because you really primarily were the one to set this
was
up.
directly attributable to the great and never to be replicated Simon Wells, who was one of the greatest.
Sir Simon Wells, I like to call him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's actually knighted,
Yeah.
but in my mind, he's pretty
Simon
awesome.
says draw.
Do people know who that? The great grandson of H.G. Wells.
Yes, one of
and
the greatest
director of the Time
animation
Machine.
directors, writers, project helmers, animators. One of the greatest storyboard artists I've ever seen in my life.
Classy dude, classy
just
individual.
an encyclopedia of film knowledge and everything. Well, Simon has worked for Bob Zemeckis for years doing stuff. Simon did the original designs for Doc Brown's Train.
And his first job, I think, in the business was storyboarding part 2, right?
I think so.
As I recall.
I think so.
As I recall, that's what he said.
I think he was also on Roger Rabbit at the time, so he's got the Zemeckis connection
Wow.
all through.
That's
and,
amazing.
You know, I think and Simon directed Mars Needs Moms, which Zemeckis produced, I believe. So they've been, friends for years, and I worked with Simon at DreamWorks at the time, and he heard that he used to lovingly make fun of me and call me a nerd, and then he saw the DeLorean, he was like, "Fuck."
Well, you told him you were doing it,
Yeah.
and it was we brought it. He'd been asking you. He said, "All right," when you kept showing him pictures,
Yeah,
because each week it was more and more parts on it.
Yeah.
He was, "Hang on, this is turning into what I remember."
Yeah.
and he had spent a lot of time with it on and off set. That he had his own series of photos and everything else.
He did, which he lovingly gave us some photos to
use as reference.
Yeah.
But we ended up bringing the car to see him first.
Yes.
You're right. I forgot about that. At DreamWorks.
Yep.
Okay. So that was the start to that picture. Right?
At which point Simon said, "I'm going to tell Bob about this." And I'm like, "Okay." And you know what? Maybe in a matter of weeks, suddenly we were going down to where he was.
When you told me about it to when it actually happened was
I don't remember.
maybe 2 weeks. I mean, it was
It
not long.
happened quick.
I think it was less than a month from when you and Simon talked about it to when it happened.
Yeah, but God bless Simon for setting that up. And the next thing I knew, we were down on set at some warehouse where they were filming A Christmas Carol at the time.
No. Close.
What was he filming?
He was doing.
It was one of his animated ones.
But it wasn't. Yes, but it wasn't the same kind of. It was the tightrope one. The Twin Towers.
Oh, really?
Philippe Petit.
I didn't remember. I can't.
Man on Wire?
Yeah, is that what it was called?
I don't know.
Whatever it was, and it was the one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it, and we were in that. It was still motion capture.
That's right.
And we were in the motion capture
We were in
stage
the
because it
motion
was my
capture
first
stage.
time in
That's
one
right.
of those.
And everyone had the ping pong balls all over them. They were, giant foam blocks and green everywhere.
And
it was
we were pseudo making
crazy.
fun of it because I live in a world of live action where you build all this stuff,
Right.
and he works in animation where you create all this
I
stuff.
know,
and
right?
And we're just sitting in
Somewhere
a
in the
room
middle.
with some fucking electrical hum.
Yeah.
And these people are. acting. And meanwhile, Zemeckis is going, oh, I'd never go back. This is amazing. Like, yeah, I can do anything with this environment. They just do their thing, and then I can do whatever I want afterwards. And it sort of blew my mind. But then seeing those movies with what he did, it was pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I want him to do another Roger Rabbit.
That would be the
But
best.
we'll talk about that later. But no, seriously. So, and then, we're down there, and I remember they broke for lunch. We got to watch them film for a while, then they broke for lunch.
Zemeckis goes...
is the car here? Is it?
Somebody whispered to him or something.
No, is it here? Are they here? Are the cars here? All right, everyone, let's go see the car. And he was
I got a surprise for you outside. He didn't tell him what they were going to see.
Right.
He said, "Hey, everybody!" He gets on the radio and the loudspeaker and the ADs and everything. He said, "Hey, everybody! All right, we're breaking for lunch, and come outside. And before you get in line over there, come over to the other side. We got a surprise out there. We want everybody to see."
And it was the best reaction ever because I remember I was walking out. I happened to be next to him.
Hang on, though, before we even get there, because it was like we were like sports stars. Remember, there was that long tunnel to walk out of between the studio and the car.
To get to where we had it out front.
So it was like Mean Joe Green. We're walking down the tunnel talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
You're with Zemeckis. I'm with Bob Gale.
Yeah. And Zemeckis
and
goes...
you came around the corner first.
It was so funny because just, sort of chewing gum. He goes, so you guys built this car, huh? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And he said something like, just like stick stuff on a Pinto type of thing, that type of... I was like, well... And then we came around, and it was the best reveal.
Yes.
Because I go,
he thought it was going to be shit.
Yeah, he's like, you stick some stuff on. And it went like, he literally stopped.
And he said, holy shit.
Holy shit. And then he turned to us, he goes, you built this? I was like, we built this.
And we're walking close. We never stopped. We're walking closer and closer.
Bob Gale didn't say a word. He just kept laughing. He couldn't stop laughing. He just kept walking around, shaking his head, just laughing like a little kid. It was so funny.
He's the story guy. I could think he could see. He was writing it in his head.
He was delighted. It was. It felt, and it was one of those things like, wow, we just met the two big guys responsible for this movie, and we charmed them.
Do you remember? Go ahead.
No, that was.
I remember.
No further questions, Your Honor.
The car was amazing, and they're looking at it and everything, and then we opened the door.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Zemeckis went over and put his hand on the door and just kind of daydreamed. Like he literally
He went to another place. He went to another place.
And he looked at, and he looked back, and the sun's out, and he's like kind of, and he's, it's like you could tell. And he said, Jesus, I haven't seen this in 20 years. And like he literally, like as it was,
like this
you could
is the
see
car.
every
like,
memory
yeah.
coming back to
Yeah.
him. And it wasn't even that good. I mean, that was our first pass on that car. It got so good.
It's a very cool moment to witness.
It was very bizarre and cool.
We have been very blessed to have...
And everybody was there.
The creators of our industry and have impressed them enough that they're like, those guys are okay. And that's really the best that you can hope for is any type of builder.
Those nerds are all right.
Yeah.
But you're right. Because
those pencil necks are okay people.
Because we didn't just go to his house or some event. It was a shoot. All of his crew was there because I remember Rick Carter was there, production designer from the sequels and Jurassic Park and everything else he's done. And Dean Cundy was there, and Simon was there as well. With I think his wife was there as well.
Wendy might have been there.
Pretty sure she was taking pictures.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And of course,
amazingly
the funny,
cool and weird.
The funny thing is, Simon putting up pictures of having gone to the Back to the Future musical in London, and I didn't.
You told me that.
I didn't even
know
have
that.
any idea that we had our car in there. I would have been like,
And if he went to like the premiere thing, it was a couple weeks ago or whatever. The car we built was out front, let alone the replicas inside. It's hilarious.
It's insane.
It's hilarious.
By the way, much like the time travel movies they make Back to the Future, the same shit keeps reoccurring and coming back in circles. Which, believe me, that is.
Yeah, those guys knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
The Bobs, I'm assuming it was Gale who whatever kind of tuned into whatever that and said, "There's a story here."
Yeah, yeah.
They knew what they were doing, but we just thought it was good.
Yeah.
And of course it is.
It is.
But there's so much real in it.
Oh yeah.
You don't realize until you get older, I guess.
You don't, and that's the
perspective.
That's the time paradox.
These are just other randoms. You probably don't know this, but during the time when we owned our car, or 5 years or so, it was used for all sorts of shit. And you wouldn't have known it, but sometimes you were up at Universal and you were looking at our car. Like this day. That's our car up at Universal on display. And that was pretty cool. It was for, I think we did a shoot for, who can remember now? They all blend together.
Oh, those tires are beautiful.
That's how I identified it. The one in the, because ours is the only car to ever wear those stupid tires. But I was such a detail nerd. This was before the years of tire stickers and putting Michelin or Goodyear Goodyear Eagle GTs.
It's a Jeagle.
Everybody do those Jeagle exercises. You'll thank me later.
Tighten up, ladies. Jesus Christ, it's gone off the rails.
I don't know what we're talking about, but anyway, yeah.
The detail on the tires.
Yes, so I scoured the earth for the last raised white letter tires in the sizes that we needed for the DeLorean, and they were in Hercules HP 4000 format. No idea what that was. It might have been a made-up tire. I've never heard of that brand again.
Someone's just making that name up.
But it had and if it's driving, you can't tell, right? So it only comes down to when it's static. And the truth is, there's so much to look on that car that nobody is like, oh, that's the wrong tire. You don't have the proper factory tire on that car.
What's that, like Shawshank Redemption? How often do you look at a man's shoes?
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a good point.
Yeah.
Especially when he's a fucking con man.
I know.
Shyster.
Right.
I wasn't trying to be that, but, you know.
Walking out with Warden Norton's books in the DeLorean.
Well, I do have a history, yeah. I mean,
oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, one last thing. You built an Ecto before I knew you, and then I helped you sort of button up some details, and then I helped you build an Ecto, and that's the one that's in the museum.
Yes.
And what else?
Well, there's a new carcass coming home.
Yes.
Yeah.
you might notice I happen to do this for a reason.
Oh, that's funny. That's a
you
beautiful.
didn't notice?
I didn't. That's a beautiful patch, by the way.
You're a beautiful patch, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, I could have done the part one with you here. I got that right here in the desk, the part one, but I wore my part two because of the reveal.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm. The project has stalled a little bit because funds and life. But
well, hang on. Also, this is the type of project that we could probably get sponsored. So let's just say that right here. So what's the project? Don't worry about the funds. That'll come.
I'm bringing home a 1960 Miller Meteor that we've stitched together from two cars. The front end is off. Like, there's still a shit ton to be done.
A lot of body work.
But
in the end, it'll be a 59 lookalike.
It absolutely will be.
Yeah.
It'll be 100%.
And the goal for this particular 59 coach, once it's back in one piece as a 59/60 coach, whatever,
is the Ecto 1A.
Building the 1A, folks. It's actually happening.
There's some people that have already done it. There's some people that have 1As out there, so I won't be the first. But I'm definitely going to try to be as close to it as possible.
I told you what my idea is.
Tell me again.
We do what Bob Gale came way back when, before we got the car restored.
Right.
Before Bob Gale and I went to Universal and those other guys restored the car.
Right.
He said to me, have you ever read this book? It came from Bob's basement. Do you know that book?
I've heard of it.
He's referring to a guy named Bob Burns.
Bob Burns.
You know about him.
He owns,
Legend.
Has everything in his basement.
And you know how and why it started.
I don't. But he's got the George Pal time machine in his basement.
Goes back to that. And that's the story. And that's what Bob Gale was saying. He was this guy who took the stuff away from the studio, not because he wanted to own it and sell it and whatever the fuck, but he basically wanted to save it for if it ever gets needed again or whatever, or for the fans or for the museum or for the whatever. He was the Indiana
museum. Yeah. Jinx.
And there's this whole book about him. And so when we were pitching the idea, because there was all the extra time machine parts that were like on the shelf at the time. This is when the A car is still rotting away on the back lot, and there are some replicas that used to have screen used parts on them.
Right.
You remember somebody took those parts off, put them in storage. Now those parts are sitting in storage, and then we went to Bob Gale and said, hey, what do you think about putting those parts on a car to make up whatever? It's what became Terry Walter's car. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh my God! Where they Brundle fly into a telepod and come out on the other side?
It spells nausea. That became.
Get rid of the C word.
That became the this. But that idea, I say we go approach Sony or the guys or Ken Hargrove or whoever's doing it these days and approach them and say we do this legacy vehicle because there's no need or purpose for it otherwise.
That's interesting. I as far as I know,
they won't make another movie where they
resurrect
the 1A.
rid of the parts. The last time I handled the 1A parts, they were in pretty distressed condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were still real.
But they were still real, and they were still there. That helium oxygen tank on that green thing that's up there.
That was Silo.
I took so many pictures
Sonotube?
of that thing, and I'm going, what is it? It's standing over it. I'm going, what are you?
Oh, you think it was a real thing?
Oh,
They made
is.
it.
Oh, it is.
Wait, are you talking about that big giant tank on the back?
No. The little green oxygen tank that goes up to where the siren usually is on the regular Ecto.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's got like a heliox type of valve
impossible
on
to
it.
find.
Yeah, it's. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Leave it to the. This is
I'm
where
sure
we
some of
leave
the
it to the
nerds have
nerd.
already
We're
figured
on
out.
the internet, and the nerds already know.
Yeah,
and we're
and
gonna
there's
find
someone
it.
that knows. It's looking at you. Yeah, I see a master of
Hey,
anything.
boys.
That guy doesn't even know. I'm sure that's coming.
I got to roll. I got a date to go on.
What?
Go ahead, buddy. We're wrapping it up. We're just reminiscing.
Sounds good.
All right, I sent you what I got so far. Peace and love. I just am very, very.
We love you, buddy.
honored
Who's
to
coming
be
up on the
this
Letterman
episode.
podcast this week?
Tom's Bones Malone on
Oh
Friday.
my gosh! Congratulations from the Blues Brothers and the original Letterman band,
very cool.
Tom Bones Malone.
Yeah,
that's
And he
very
came to my high school when I was a kid with Chris Brubeck.
Did he really?
Yeah, and then I later got to know him because we had Lou Soloff, his friend, also from the same band, in on my high school show because he was friends with Paul Schaefer. So I thought, oh, that'll be the connection to get Paul Schaefer. Yeah, and whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyway, Tom Malone is like a legend, freaking legend, musical legend. So, bye.
Have a great
love you, buddy.
date.
Have a great date
Love
night.
you
Love the
guys.
candy.
We're gonna thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. There's a whole other show.
Don't get me started, you and me. We go deep on this stuff. We have to do a show on that because he also built the Cheers bar into his office. I mean, literally, to the point where even Cliff Clavin would come and hang out and wouldn't leave, and then everybody from the whole lot is then in his office having drinks after a storyboard meeting or something, have a tone meeting or something, and then they're all having.
Yeah.
Did you have a real keg in there, or were you having? Hilarious with like a pony fridge or something. Oh my god,
That's hilarious.
But you got to bring pictures in because he had the real bar.
Sam Adams in there, and it's so funny. Like here, quick teaser story.
Go ahead,
because it's fun.
Go ahead.
So I had built the Cheers bar because they were encouraging us to do all things Pixar, and Pixar does these elaborate refurbs of their offices up north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I are also huge Cheers fans. Let's start with that.
Oh God,
being
yeah.
New Englanders.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, when I was teaching college, we were talking about writing and directing and stuff like that. I made them watch the pilot. I said, this is one of the most tightly written shows you've ever seen. You're like, give me a ring sometime. I mean,
it's perfect. It's 22 minutes of perfect writing.
It's like, what are the opening lines from the first Cheers episode? How about a beer, Chief? That fucking kid that comes down. That's so funny.
The kid that you see him and everything else.
Wait till I tell the missus. I love that. Saying, yeah, that's what they say. War is gross.
War is gross.
Sorry, so.
How was Vietnam? Gross.
This is the thanks we get.
Anyway.
Cold opening done. Anyway. So I asked if I could turn my office into a pub. That's what it was originally, because the story that the film that I was developing and directing at the time was going to take place in Boston. It was going to be a Cars movie in Boston.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I said, why? And the bar that they went to is Gears. I'm not even kidding.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Fenderway Park.
So
it
good.
Wrote itself.
It's all there.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to do an Irish pub. I went, no. I'm going to do Cheers.
Yep.
Like Loretta, no. When she was mad at Nick. It's all Nick. All Cheers things.
Nick
coming
Titelli,
back.
Loretta. Which is also, Louis, I'm leaving.
Louis, I'm
oh,
going
hey,
home.
don't go yet. Maybe we start dancing, other people join in.
I love that he's just staring at her boobs. He doesn't even come up to her clavicle, and he's just trying to concentrate on dancing. He's so funny.
Mrs. Casey Kasem.
Yes.
Hilarious. Anyway, you were saying?
So I went away. I went and took all the measurements of my office, and I went away, and I built the Cheers bar for a year.
Like in flats?
In flats.
Yep.
And I built the bar in modular pieces and the glass rail and everything like that.
Do people understand the brick walls, the wood accoutrement, all the woodwork, the paneling, all of that stuff, the stained glass windows?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of all the details. You had the lights on the bar.
I had the can lights. Looking at I found the right ones.
Obviously, the stools and all the regular
and all
shit.
the trips that I would make back to Cheers.
Cigar
to
Store
Boston.
Indian, obviously.
Yeah. But got pictures from the Bull and Finch. Like I went into the Bull and Finch, and there were pictures I'd never seen upstairs, like where the Hampshire House was.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures I'd never seen of the cast before that were just framed and matted, and I was just like, iPhone, bloop.
Oh, and then you put him inside.
I did.
Hilarious.
I did. Reproed them, matted them in the same Irish green, and then put them in black frames. They look gorgeous.
I love it.
I
And then
found
did you
the Jim Longboard
I was going to
picture.
ask the pitching.
It was there. I got a picture of it. And I've never been able to find it like in the wild anywhere. Not a signed copy, any of that
But you got a
shit.
picture of it at Cheers?
I got a picture of the one that was at Cheers and then
Love it.
reproed it for my part.
What about the Square House?
Yeah, I got that. Oh, I love it. I reproed almost all the signs. So I got the portal that's up there. Of
course.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
So
such nerds.
Yeah,
We're not teasing anything. We're going into this. Whole
yeah,
story.
no. So I when I spent the year constructing the bar itself, I also bought set dressing and glasses and all Cheers shit. So one day it was like a Labor Day weekend or more, one of the long weekends, and we got out of we were gone for a long weekend. So I came in on Friday. I had found the right
Load in the set.
I did, and I remember, and I even skinned the door of my
Yeah.
my
that.
door with the planks and the
in the window.
Yeah, it was perfect. And then so that very following Monday, I just remember I came in and there was a crowd of like 8 people in front of my office just staring. And
Because it was done from the outside
Yeah,
too.
and
so
I
the
walked-
whole inside was done, but then he skinned the
Yeah.
front of the outside as if it was a little like it kind of looked like Moe's Tavern.
Yeah.
Because it
But
wasn't the full Cheers.
It was so funny. I just took my keys and I'm like, oh hey guys,
What's
and I just
up?
walked right through, opens it, go in, turn on the lights, and they just went.
But meanwhile, it looks like you had the, excuse the term, Imagineers or somebody come in and
yeah.
like all the little
Nobody had
elflings over the.
ever seen anything like it, and that was the day that office was born. And over the months, our general manager Meredith was like, John's coming in to do some recording. John Ratzenberger.
These
I
are
mean,
Pixar
yeah, whatever.
movies, so he's in every single
Yeah,
one.
he's their lucky golden voice.
Yeah.
And we had a recording studio there, and all the people who were doing films for DTS would come and record there, which was fun. And they say they're coming in, then you forget about it, and you think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there. Oh, and by the way, the other thing about it was that I built my desk that I'm sitting on my drawing computer inside the bar. The bar was around me, so I was
you're
always
sitting
the bartender.
in the bar.
I had the flap up thing and everything, and stools all around the perimeter, the brass rails. It was
Instead of a desk.
That's
it was
really cool.
It was so much fun.
Before it was cool to have a standing desk.
Right. And then one day I'm just sitting there drawing, and you can, when you feel the air change, I knew someone's coming in. I hear this voice go, "You call this a bar?" And I just went, and it was like slowly I turned.
It's happening.
And I turned, there is fucking John Ratzenberger standing in the doorway, and I went, and he comes in, he goes, "I see you got my seat," because I had the cliff seat on the end.
Yep.
And he goes, he was joking. He goes, "You actually got any beer in here?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What do you got?" I said, "Sam Adams." He goes, "Pour me a Sammy." And that's how it started. And I went,
Holy smokes.
and I just sat there. I shoved it over to him. I said, "I'm Sean." He was like, "John." And it was
best friends forever.
It was I couldn't believe it. That was the first time he showed. By the half a dozenth time he showed up, people knew he was coming, and there was like a crowd of 40 people coming in and out of the office.
It becomes a party
It became
thing.
Cheers.
Because he's not going to come in and not
And
go
by the way,
there.
everybody was drinking. That was one of the nights where HR had to hand out taxi vouchers.
Hilarious.
For people leaving my office. I was
Well,
like, woo.
I got pulled over after a night with you once in the time machine, remember? It was the Simon Wells night.
Was it?
It was the night I brought it to DreamWorks, because then we all went, remember, we drank
That's
at
right.
DreamWorks.
Oh, yeah. And then we went to
afterwards.
like
The Blue Door or whatever that place is
Yeah,
called.
the Blue Room.
Blue Room, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
You remember that?
Yeah, those were some of
And
the
then back to DreamWorks.
The Lost Nights. That was a hard drinking crew, man.
I remember. I don't want to say any of the
Holy-
names, but you remember everybody that was there.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
nailed
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was some times, but yeah, the Cheers bar, people still talk about that to this day.
Oh, that's amazing. And then I'm so glad that you ended up getting Ratzenberg in there, because I remember telling you in the beginning that I was trying to get you. I was friends through Harvell's and a musician friend. His stepfather technically, happens to be Norm.
That's so cool. George
and
Wendt.
I was and so I told him about it too, and I'm sure probably John Ratzenberger probably told him about it too.
Maybe,
I would
I don't know.
imagine. But so if he ever got out here, he was gonna make it over there as well. And
I got to go out to dinner with him one night because we had just been hanging out. And we're like, hey, we're all going to go
With
out to eat.
Cliffy?
Yeah. He was like, I'll join you. I'm like,
I love it.
Awesome.
Holy shit.
I mean,
just steak with Cliff.
Didn't he like convince them to have that character on that show? Like I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they didn't
Said
have
you
a
don't have the
mailman.
bar
He was
know-it-all.
and
You
he
don't have the
didn't get
know-it-all
whatever he
character.
was
Yeah.
going like reading for Norman. He didn't
Yeah.
get it, whatever. Like, but you know what you need.
And here's the funny thing about John is he actually is Cliff Clavin in the sense that he is an encyclopedia of right knowledge of shit, and he is like, there ain't a subject that he don't seem to know, and he's Cliff Clavin in the best possible way, and they're like, wow, his stories are just fantastic.
Yeah, they'd have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, just 9 years on Cheers, or 11 years, whatever it was, 11 years on Cheers,
11,
I think.
It's because Frasier did 11 seasons, too.
Then it's 11, yeah. They were the same.
They're bringing Frasier back.
How do you feel about that? You loved Frasier. I didn't love Frasier. I don't have a problem with it. I just... Frasier Crane, the character changed between Cheers and Frasier,
so.
and then I was like, well, then why don't you just give Kelsey Grammer a different show?
Yeah.
Whatever.
What I grew to love about Frasier the most was what David Hyde Pierce steals every scene that he is in.
And John O'Mahony. They're both.
He's so funny.
The truth is, the supporting cast is.
Stellar.
And then I don't want to knock Frasier because he's amazing too. So they are all incredible. I just
is,
didn't love the whole thing.
Yeah, I understand.
But meanwhile, I'm sort of living a version of it now. You know what I mean? Because we sort of live in this, we have this live workspace where we broadcast over here with the thing, and then we live over there.
Seattle, I'm listening.
Well, and we but we have the life of like, where, the father was sort of, I don't want to say handicapped or whatever, but didn't he have a, he had a cane. He had a cane with the thing on it.
Shot in the
Three
hip.
prongs on the bottom with
it was
tennis balls.
From Up, the one from Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carl's cane from Up.
Carl,
this show's really good.
Crump? I think it's Carl. I don't know. Carl Peterson. I think that was his name from Up.
Okay.
Did I not?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew.
No, I probably would have until you started saying other names.
Yeah,
now
I'll look it up tonight.
Now I'm not sure.
I think it's Peterson.
Okay.
I want to say. I don't know.
It's Norm Peterson.
Norm Peterson.
You were saying?
I don't know.
All right.
That was second.
Thanks for dealing with all the nerddom, everybody, tonight. I mean, we said it was going to be the
Nicole.
Reminiscing show. Yeah.
I chose this life.
That's God bless you.
Fell in love with it.
It takes a special kind of girl.
There's a lot of people that think they're nerds, like a lot of people that think they're funny, and you guys know what you're doing. So it transcends
It's the first
whatever
time I've ever heard that.
bullshit.
Yeah. I'm faking it myself.
I know what I'm doing. Hey!
Personally,
it's like
I'm
students,
faking everything.
Hey, we know what we're doing.
You know how to at least talk like you do. That goes so far. I've seen everything nonsense.
I will take that compliment.
Good.
She's seen a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Serena Williams, who's announcing her progression to retirement,
I
whatever
love
she
her.
called it.
I love her.
You worked with her for a very long time.
I don't know what she likes to do for a hobby, but she should spend every day doing that and just being happy from...
Well, maybe now that she's done with this, she'll do Playboy, and you can find out her hobbies and turn-ons and all that other stuff.
She doesn't. She don't need to know nothing like that.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. But you're like, what are her hobbies? I want to know what Serena Williams' hobbies are.
Long walks on the beach. Tennis.
I'm guessing now it'll be tennis. Yeah, probably. She's a very smart businesswoman. I have a feeling her hobbies are making good moves. That's her hobby.
I think the good move is to
she's
retire
really
and enjoy
smart.
the rest of your life, honestly, if you can do it.
She might do that too. If you read the whole thing, it was about spending time with family.
Good.
It seems to be that angle. I
She
don't
ain't
see
wrong.
tennis leaving her life. Like, that's forever. It's going to be her thing. So she might commentate or whatever, but
I'm sure
play
she'll
Oh,
always
that she
be,
could do, yeah.
She'll always be involved, of course.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Jesus, you just
She
go
just
to her
said
as a
she's
master,
done
like
playing.
a Jedi master. Yeah.
But she talked a lot about family, and she has a young daughter now. I think she's
right.
5. So
She's right.
there's natural progressions. She's young.
Before we go, I want to tell you about Series 1 Films here. Series 1 Films is more than just films. They can set you up with effective marketing solutions like press releases on major news sites. They can scale your rank on Google and produce cinematic content for your automotive brands and businesses. That's series1films.com. Series1films.com.
Series1films.com.
And the 1 is a number 1. I realize I'm looking at the wrong camera. It is what it is. Hello.
And that's the news, Sandy.
But the good, yeah, that's right. But the good news is Series 1 Films has content like this. Roll it out. Yeah. Also,
my yellow Xterra? I love that car.
I do, but the Mitch Baywatch mobile, I always called it because it looked like, it was the same thing as all those.
Maybe the car, not the man driving it. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I love that
Donut
car.
Watch.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for it. That sort of buttery,
it also kind of looked like
buttery
the
lemon
Jurassic
yellow.
Park car.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of had that sort of feel.
Ford Escape. I got one of those too, but it was Kermit the Frog green.
Yeah, and it was a hybrid.
Yeah.
And it was early hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
it was all right.
The kind that would still, like, turn the air off when you stopped and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the later kind that they got smarter after the years.
With that,
yeah. But I always thought that was kind of a neat car. Like, it drove well. It was also really surprisingly nice inside. Like, you got one loaded with leather and every option somehow.
The other thing that I loved about it was
we're talking about cars.
You could Tetris all sorts of stuff in there when we were lugging stuff around for the shop. You could literally, I could.
The inside was bigger than the outside.
I don't know how it was. It was like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Yeah.
You remember your old Xterra? Now I forgot the Xterra's coming back. You put so much stuff in there all the time that we blew the rear shock. So like for a long time until you fixed him, it was just
like a boat,
like an 80s or 70s limousine in New York City that just the back is just like this, and the shop was like 8 speed bumps to get over from where you pull into the shop thing to where you get to your shop. Let's see. We've paid the bills. I've shown the photos. We've done the stories. It's been almost 2 hours. How do you feel?
Standing on your head.
We talked about the Ecto 1A project that's happening. If anybody has any interest in, I'm telling you, I think we could probably make this a legitimate thing.
There's definitely a story in it. I'll tell you that. There's definitely a fun story to be told. Not even how it came to here, but.
And we finish our projects and get results. So like we have watch this show. Here's the track record. We're building another car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do it.
Jesus Christ, I'd be happy to.
This became an accidental
just
pitch.
Build it and let Sony park it on the lot next to the other one. I'm like, here's a 1A. It can live here.
Idea.
I mean, I'd give it back to the franchise.
What did they do
hang
with
out there for a while?
What did they do with the other Ecto from Afterlife?
I think one of them
one's the 1A and one's
Peterson,
another
right? One's in the Peterson.
But why are there two? I thought they wrecked one during the shooting.
I heard they built 3. One was
two,
the,
but
one
two
was the
really,
car.
2 ones that drove, and then that one that was a
and then
wrong year that
shop
was
car
an insert.
that
Right.
was that was for insert.
I don't count
shots.
that because they didn't. It's a different.
That's fair, but yeah, the Hero one is the 1A repurposed. Yeah.
Okay, and one's on the lot and one's at the Peterson.
I think so. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there are 2. There was never 2 before. You know what I mean? Like, why do we need 2 now?
Oh.
There shouldn't be 2 now.
Hey.
Give us one of those and we'll make the 1A out of it. Why don't you give us the 1A back and we'll make the 1A out of that?
Oh, that's not going to happen. That's the screen-used Afterlife car.
So is the other one.
I know, that's true.
See my point?
I do.
It's also the screen-used 1A, fuckface.
You calling me fuckface?
You just did to me. I'm like, no, they would never do that. It was screen-used in this. I was like, but first it was screen-used in this.
That's
it's the same thing with the Back to the Future time machine. Like, whatever. I don't want to get a.
Yeah.
But the fact that the other movies' history are erased from that, like, don't get me started. And the light bar's too big.
It's a good point.
I love you. I can't believe we did this in the suits. I can't believe I'm an adult doing this.
I know.
I'm so
responsible grown-ups.
No, so awkward. I hope that none of this recorded.
This was great. Are you kidding me?
I think it all recorded, but I'm really not sure.
I think
we got booted off of Instagram over there a while ago, but I think we're still on YouTube.
I think the real audience for this was producer Mike.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And you guys talk Star Wars. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's see. Here we go. Thursday. Thursday's a big show. It's very exciting. Patrick Long's going to be here, former Porsche factory race car driver, now Porsche brand ambassador, Patrick Long, also co-creator of Luftgekalt with Howie Idelson and Jeff Swart. He's going to be here on Thursday to talk about the new Luftgekalt, which was just announced today. Just announced. It's going to be at the Port of Long Beach, or Port of Los Angeles in Long Beach. Anyway, so he's here on Thursday. Next week, we've got comedian Dean Del Rey, and you guys know Vinny Russo from The Smoking Tire. Vinny Russo will be here. Later this month, Tom Dreesen, John and Monique Marconi, and lots more. Also, 9/3 Marconi Museum, live. Those tickets are going live. In fact, I believe the Eventbrite is up currently, but our social media push and everything is all happening tomorrow. We've got there's a strategy behind it. I don't know how to do any of this stuff, but the Marconi Museum does, and they are behind it.
Nice.
They really have their shit together. I recommend anybody go do an event with the Marconi people at the Auto Museum down there. They are great to work with, and the facility is amazing. I know this is going to go well. I know it's going to be great. Also, Reggie Watts, Adam Ferrara, Jan Karam, Gary Cannon. I'm missing somebody there. Guido, whatever his name is. I can't remember his last name. It's going to be a great show. Lots of fun stuff. Maybe Gabe Abelson. You're building a 1A. We built a Mattel trap. You saw LA Proper. We've met the Bobs, and Ernie Hudson has a Proton Pack, and I don't. We have wrapped it up. We've done it all. We've done it all.
Your inside jokes list is going to be 9 miles long.
He does those. I don't do any of that shit.
Poor guy. He better pack a lunch.
He's gone. He went out on a date. Maybe we won't have any. I love you.
Better come home and do it.
We love you, mister.
Love you guys back.
Love you so much. I'm so grateful to be kids again with you as an adult.
Thank you for letting me come on and tell funny nerd stories. They were always fun to remember. I had forgotten so much about that LA Proper. Like seeing it again with fresh eyes after this long, I'm like, wow. That was there was a lot of work that went into that. That was a lot of fun.
You know, I don't remember their names right now, but I should probably give a shout out to the two guys that helped us.
One of the guys' names was Whitney.
Whitney Paget.
Whitney Paget.
I remember him, and Matt something, who was, these were two guys who had a production company, and they were trying to help us
They were
get
great
it
dudes.
going.
They were nice dudes. You know?
Very nice guys, and very talented, obviously, because we didn't do that alone.
No,
in fact, they did all of that. We just showed up.
Yeah.
Okay, we love everybody. That's it.
Good to be here.
Longest show ever. I think we may have hit the
Happy
mark.
Tuesday.
Longest show ever.